The following podcast contains naughty language and ridiculous situations. Listener discretion is advised.
It's been a very challenging week here at Trick or Treat Radio. We've heard reports of the end of an era. We do have the return of a co-host, but unfortunately, the hospitalization of another. At this point, I don't know what's going to happen, but stay with us and buckle up. And welcome to Trick or Treat Radio.
Welcome all you little zombies. You're listening to Trick or Treat Radio, starring the Deadites.
Welcome to episode 391 of Trick or Treat Radio. Trick or Treat Radio is the world's most dangerous podcast and is recorded in front of an undead studio audience here at Castle Wolfenstein and then also at the Lair of La Swag within the Raven Chateau. We discuss at least one film a week. We argue, we make fun of each other, and we pay tribute to one of our fallen co-hosts.
I fucking still can't believe it, dude.
I know. MZ hospitalized. This is rough.
It's funny. I last night it was a really rough day, and ended up watching the movie for the show, and there was a pause in the action. So I'm flipping through Facebook, and then I see the news.
Yeah.
And I showed Mary, and she couldn't fucking believe it. I'm still reeling.
I wasn't even sure that he was still alive. Like that picture of him looked like he was almost like he was in rough shape, man.
Because I didn't hear anything too. Because I even private messaged him.
Yeah.
I just called him. I haven't called the dude in fucking 5 years. I don't even. Fucking it's fucked up. So I can only imagine Harry's coming home and finding this shit.
I know.
Yeah, this was a little bit of a shock.
But I'm happy to report he's gonna pull through, guys. He's gonna fucking pull through. Because the report was, doctor, they did lots of testing. They were checking him out. What the fuck is wrong with this guy? Like, oh man. The diagnosis? A piece of fucking chicken stuck in his throat. What kind
he
of
fucking choked on his chicken.
Well, not only that, but what kind of shit was this boy talking about the fucking San Diego chicken for 2 straight weeks?
That's what you get. You don't fuck with that chicken.
You don't fuck with the
connect.
San Diego chicken. Are you fucking kidding me? He choked on chicken. Now, let me make clear, he is okay. We were dramatizing things. He's fine. He's home. He's resting. He's fine. That's why we fucking laugh. But choked on chicken. It got stuck in his fucking throat.
After what was that die rant he had?
Yeah, he was telling the fucking chicken to die.
I mean, you don't fuck with that chicken. That San Diego chicken, he'll jump on a plane, he'll get out here, he'll fuck your shit up.
Oh my God, that's why he's the greatest mascot of all time. I think he might be a Sith Lord. Fuck Jar Jar Binks. Fucking, it was all plot behind. He's the fucking Phantom Menace. No contest, Brock.
Maybe the episode should be called "Revenge of the San Diego Chicken" or something.
Oh, I think that timestamp.
Jesus. Or Return. Would it be Revenge or Return? What's better?
Revenge.
Well, Jedis can't have revenge. So,
that's true.
Wait, you just said the chicken was a Sith.
Right.
So it's revenge.
Yeah. Oh, my Lord. But yes, we're very glad that our fucking friend and co-conspirator is okay.
Yeah.
It's not.
And we are even more happy we can make fun of him like this.
Right. To be fair, for those listening, like we made sure everything was okay. We discussed it, and I talked before the show, and even Marion's like, "Were you guys gonna make fun of him?" And like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna."
Have you listened to the show?
T-Dog asked me the same thing. You gonna make fun of him? Yes. He choked on a fucking chicken. Who does that?
Which he has a weird history with chicken too.
He does. He has a
that-
very strange history.
Yeah, like I love it when he thought he was allergic until at least his early 20s, right?
Like late, maybe early 30s. Because I
Really?
think, if I remember correctly, it was at the Manor one night, back at the old Maru Manor. And I remember because MZ used to be allergic to chicken, or so he said. And then he told the story where he like ordered something chicken. We're like, what the fuck? Aren't you allergic? He's like, nah. And then like the story, if I recall correctly, the story he told, he was like drunk one night, which is weird because he doesn't really drink very much. He got drunk one night and he was starving and he stopped and he's like, fuck it, I'll just get some chicken. And he didn't die. So he figured he wasn't allergic anymore.
Feeling kind of drunk, a little bit hungry. Guess I'm going to end my life.
Wow. So, man. Yeah, so he has quite the history with chicken.
He's got to fucking stop. Just stick to like, no, he should really go fucking vegan. Johnny, listen, we need intervention.
He would never do it. He would never do it.
Yeah, I think it's time. He might need to.
He wouldn't even be able just to go like vegetarian.
Well, he did try an Impossible Whopper. I guess that's something. Not a lot, but it's something.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's baby steps. Okay. Radish open soon, please, because save this fucking kid.
That's not going to save him. It's going to fucking put him in his early grave. Jesus, man. Like, he has the weirdest shit happen to him. That fucking spider bite?
It's not funny. We're sorry, MZ. But it's fucking some funny shit because you're okay.
Well, right, yeah. Obviously, if this turned, another way, obviously we wouldn't be joking. But Jesus,
I recommend soup for a while.
Yeah, all liquids.
Yeah,
maybe we should chip in and buy him a blender, and he can just blend everything.
Yeah. There you go.
Drink your chicken, MZ.
Drink your chicken. Oh man! So if this was like a wrestling feud, like this is like the big take home show before the big event.
Oh man, yeah.
Because fucking Chicken put him on the fucking DL.
This is like the fucking like the big boss man taking the casket of Paul White.
or taking Pepper. Do you remember Al Snow's dog?
That sucked. Yeah, I fucking really hate.
Suck.
And then there was the steel cage match where all dogs were outside the ring.
Yeah, that was the worst.
That was fucking.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know what's next. Like now, we need the rubber match. MZ laid the fucking smackdown on the San Diego Chicken. It got back at him. Now we need the rubber match. Find out who the fucking champ is. The best of 3 series.
Oh, you mess with the chicken, you get the flap. I'll tell you that much.
The anal flap.
The anal flap. And that too, man. He's a weird fucking guy. I love him so much.
I hope he's listening right now. Actually, no, I hope he's not.
We're very glad you're okay, MZ, but just be fucking careful when you eat, please. Now I'm fascinated. Was he cutting it up? Was it like
I don't know.
I'm sure he just was like picking it up and just ripping chunks out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point.
It's true.
Oh, oh man, that kid can put it away. Like I've seen him. I'm trying to remember. I think we went to like Red Robin once. This is obviously before I was vegan, but he like downed a burger and fries and was on like 2 sodas before I was like halfway done. Like that dude, dude can fucking eat.
What was that burger he had at Uno's?
Oh yeah, it was like what 3,500 calories or something ridiculous.
Yeah. Like it weighed more than the waitress.
Yeah, I don't remember what that thing was, but it was the whole hog, wasn't that it or something like that?
Well, we had another table, I think. I think it was during one of those Rocket Shock nights.
No,
There
I
were
was
separate-
I was sitting next to him. I
Okay,
think
yeah, you were
might
there.
have been, yeah, you might have been at another table, but I was sitting next to him, and I think Bill Fulkerson was there, Jimmy Gonzalez, and a few other people. I don't remember who else was with us. Fucking ridiculous, man. MZ, we do love you, man, and
Yeah.
I'm actually really bummed out he's not here tonight because I was super looking forward to talking this movie with him. So it does suck, but it's just like you can't write this shit. The dude fucking talks trash about the San Diego chicken, and then less than a week later, he fucking chokes on chicken. You can't make this shit up.
And first of all, who the fuck is talking about the San Diego chicken?
Nobody. He's the
Blows me away.
only person in the
baseball season in the wrong coast.
yeah.
He's talking about that chicken. Yeah.
He's the only fucking person that's talking about the San Diego chicken. Unfucking believable, man.
Like only like Jeffrey, the fucking giraffe from Toys R Us is slightly more relevant than. the San Diego
Yeah, but
chicken.
he was relevant more recently.
Yeah, right, because he got fucking bankrupt.
Yeah. Oh,
Wow.
fuck. So, anyways, the movie I was looking forward to talking with MZ about is Dr. Sleep. So we'll be talking about that film a little bit later on. We got a few voicemails ready to go, and we'll just shoot the shit on some other stuff. Evil Corny says he choked on chicken. Corny, yes, he choked on chicken. He choked on his own chicken.
That's the truth, baby. I ain't playing no
Ain't
shit.
that the truth? So, in some. I know. I would literally at work today. I just randomly thought went through my head, and I just started laughing. Seriously, the weirdest shit happens to him, man. The weirdest shit. So, anyways, we're talking about Dr. Sleep a little bit later on. So, looking forward to chatting with you guys about that. And also, this weekend, I will be at the Raven Chateau. So, looking forward to that. We're going to do some more Patreon stuff. So, with that, we have, I think we're going to try, I think we tried this before and we only fit in one, but I think we're going to try to fit in 2 episodes. So, for the next 2 months. One I would like to do is another film commentary because those seem to work out well, and having us all in one place makes it much easier. So I don't know when the next time I'll be up will be. So it might be good to just kind of get one of those, sort of in the can, so to speak. And I'm not sure which movie. I got some ideas. I know some of the other films that have been mentioned, but I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. Maybe before the end of this episode. Maybe if people are listening live, they can throw out some recommendations. But some of the ones that have come up and previously was Summer School, which I think could be fun because that's definitely a comedy, but it does, it is sort of a genre film in a sense because there's a lot of gore and horror references in it. So,
Oh yeah.
so that one could be fun. I know Johnny Dangerously has been thrown about, so that could be fun. So I don't know. Maybe we'll try to figure it out during the episode, and then we'll kind of, and maybe at the end we'll figure it out. So if anyone out there is listening has any recommendations, feel free to let us know. And then I think we'll also do don't go too nuts, but I think we'll do some of our favorite films of the decade. So from 2010 to 2019. So films had to have been released in those years. So, and then maybe we'll do, I don't know, top 13 might be a bit much, but it's going to be difficult to kind of distill it down to 5 because there's a lot of great fucking movies. So, but we'll figure out the exact format and let you guys know. But that'll be another one that we've been sort of banding about and talking about. So,
I have an idea for that too.
okay, cool. Yeah, We can talk about that. Well, I mean, you can mention it now if you want, or we can talk about it off air. Don't matter.
All right, no thing.
Why don't you shoot on air or off air?
Depends how fucking mean you're gonna be about it. You're gonna be
Yeah,
like,
have we met?
well, yeah, but no. I mean, you could spoonful of sugar.
No,
with the
I haven't
medicine.
seen you in a week. I am pent up aggression. I got to let out towards you. And
Wow.
MZ's not here to take any of it, so you're getting 2 weeks worth of two people's pissed off Aries.
He fucked it up for
Whoa.
everybody. This fucking guy. He couldn't have just had a fucking. It's a fucking Stephen King movie, and Aries is back and he's angry. He fucked it up for everybody.
Well, to be fair, I'm always angry.
Well,
That's
that is
true.
true. That is kind of his default.
That is a secret.
So, Aries, how was your trip to Florida?
Yeah.
Is that why you're angry?
No. Florida is its own animal in and of itself.
Yes.
You gotta buckle up for that one. But I did the whole theme park thing down there. I did the Disney and Universal.
Oh, did you go to the Star Wars one?
I did,
Oh, I'm so jealous.
and it was amazing.
Galaxy's Edge, right? That's what it's called.
Galaxy's Edge, yes. I rode the Falcon 3 times. I was the pilot.
Of course
the
you
gunner.
were. Of course.
Oh yeah, no. I was the pilot, I was the gunner, and then I was the engineer. I don't know why there's an engineer on the Falcon, but I wasn't gonna argue with it. They threw in a couple extra seats in the back, so
Did you have to
I'm
tell?
the accountant.
Did you have to tell everyone the odds?
no. But yeah, so that ride was amazing. I went on the Rise of Resistance, the hardest ride in the world to get on. I don't know if anyone's ever followed any of that. Like, you got to get up at the crack of dawn and get in line and do. Raven Shadow couldn't do this because you have to get on your phone and get in a virtual queue.
No, what the fuck? is that, man?
Well, anything involving getting up early and being somewhere, Raven Shadow's going to have an issue with.
Oh yeah, he would have been screwed.
Why am I gonna be in a virtual line? In a real. Like,
Would you
So,
rather?
yeah, I got-
Would you rather wait in a virtual line than a real line?
I don't know. Can I make like an avatar like on the Wii? Can I make like a little Raven Shadow video?
no,
character?
the virtual line's a lot better because I got in the park at 6 a.m., waited till 7 to get on my virtual queue, and got my virtual queue and got my number,
All right.
and then waited for that number to come up. So then I went and did other things. We got in line, went
Oh.
on Falcon, went in Toy Story Land and everything else, and did all this other stuff. And then when our number came up, we got in line 10 minutes, and we were on the ride.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a bucket.
Oh yes, no that aspect of it was great because you get to do other shit rather than wait in line for 4 hours.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in the park at 6 a.m.
Did
I
they,
get on the ride at noon.
did they give you like a heads up, like 30 minutes, 30-minute alert or something like that?
You get like a boarding group number,
Oh, okay.
and like we were number 63, and at the time, like it was like now boarding 9 through 30, now boarding 10 through 4, and they just, and as long as you were within that group, as soon as like 63, I'm like, okay, let's go. Like
yeah,
we were right there as soon as our lowest number was available.
nice.
So it would in the ride. It's a big pain in the ass to get your tickets for this ride, but it is so worth it. It is such an amazing ride, an immersive ride. The ride itself is probably 5-7 minutes long, the ride cart, but once you get beyond the queue and into the experience, it's 15 minutes.
Okay.
You're joining the resistance, and you get into a shuttle, and they board. You're in a battle with I want to call the Imperials, the
First Order.
First Order.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You get taken hostage. You get brought in, and it is just an immersive experience.
Really?
Oh, it is an experience. It is well worth any Star Wars fan to go to.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I wanted to try to do it again, to get up early and do it again, but walking fucking 10 miles a day, I had to sleep in.
Like a virtual nap.
I'm a fucking old man. I don't know. Yeah, because we just you walk in these parks. Like there was one day we did 13 miles.
Oh,
Jesus.
We hit all 4 Disney parks. We did 13 miles.
That's insane.
Did you get one of those like they should have speeders?
Oh yeah. Oh, you could rent electric carts. I thought about it. I'm not quite that old, but
Do they look like speeders?
no, they just
Oh,
look like
sad.
normal carts. But the whole Star Wars land, it's as soon as you walk in, you go through a tunnel, and as soon as you come out that other side, you are in Star Wars. You are on this planet. They come up. It's its own world they invented for the
Yeah.
park. I think the name of it.
Okay.
but it is just you are there. There's stormtroopers walking around that harass you.
Nice.
There'll be pairs of troopers. They'll just if you're standing still too long, you move along. You know they're here, and they obviously it's Disney, so they're not serious. But there's
Stop smoking, Raven Shadow. Hey, fuck you.
In every store or restaurant, it's its own separate thing. Like there's dozens of stores, to buy merchandise.
Okay.
But each store has its own little niche thing. Like there was a store that was mostly Sith stuff.
Okay.
And on the walls, it was all like bounty hunter stuff. Looked like a bounty hunter's den.
Huh.
Oh, really? Nice.
I would imagine they tried to go more bounty hunter merch, but fairly limited with that.
Okay.
But it was a lot of it was Sith stuff, and that was nice. And then you went into another store, and it was all Jedi stuff, and another one was all First Order stuff. It was just very immersive. It was amazing.
That's rad.
So it's crazy to think about because I've known about Galaxy's Edge, but with the amount of money that Disney paid Lucas, they paid $4.05 billion. Like they've made that money back now with the films alone. But if you think about things like how much money is generated from Galaxy's Edge alone, like that, they're probably like way in the clear now in terms of like they have made their money back and then some, and they're just going to continue to make money on top of they're piles of money like Scrooge McDuck piles of money.
Oh yes,
man, but for generations to come.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
I know the doomsday clock is moving up, but I mean at least like 10 more years.
At least.
Like,
yeah. Got a good 10 years left of Star Wars in this life.
till the world ends or the next apocalypse.
Yeah.
But
And then they'll turn it into a Mad Max themed one.
yeah, right.
Oh wait, they don't own the license for that. They'll probably buy it though.
It's a matter of fucking time. What are they? What it's like? What 2 more things to buy? It's
Yeah.
like they almost have all the Infinity Gems for real. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's funny because I went over to Universal, and in Universal there's Marvel Land and Simpsons Land that are owned by Disney,
Yeah.
but they're in Universal parks.
what's what I wanted? I wonder because that was the whole thing about Universal. I wanted to go because they had all the Marvel rides, like
Yeah.
in the '90s and shit, right? Like,
Yeah, they still own the rights to the rides, and they still operate the rides. They still sell all the merch, but
Okay.
Disney has the rights to all this shit.
It's
Like they own it.
interesting. Yeah, I wonder if they pay a percentage for that to keep it. There must be some sort of deal because when you build a theme park, I mean that's not easy to just turn around into, to like, put a shiny coat of paint on it and call it something else.
Oh yeah, I mean, and all the rides there are very specific towards Marvel and the Simpsons Land. I mean, they built the Simpsons Land. You can't just alter the Simpsons into something else. They're very unique.
Right.
The ride itself was the Back to the Future ride, so that could be changed into something else. But the land around it, it's a fucking cartoon land. I mean, everything's a fucking cartoon. There's a spinny ride that's the aliens.
oh really?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh
it's
shit.
the fuck are you gonna do with that?
Ride it.
Well, that's awesome, Aries. I'm glad you had a good time. Sounds like you, got to see some fun stuff. Got to
Oh yeah, it was.
got to pilot the Millennium Falcon.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
fuck
And
yeah.
and when I was pilot, we didn't crash that much.
That much.
that much.
You
It's
do-
a tough thing because it's. I don't know who designed this Falcon, but there's 2 pilots. One goes up and down, the other one goes left and right.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Do you actually control it though? Do you?
Oh
Actually,
yeah, yeah. You have some say in what happens because, like I said, I went on it 3 times, and there were different. The movie that plays out the screen was different because of what people were doing.
Ah.
And the 3rd time I went through the ride, I actually accomplished both missions you were supposed to do, and there was a bonus thing we did
shit.
that didn't happen the first 2 times. Like we got a little extra TIE fighter battle that happened.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
So,
More tie.
Smoking tie.
Smoking tie.
That sounds fun. Rimshot, let's go.
Let's go, John. It'd be fun.
oh, John, as I said, I drove down. I didn't blow my horn all the way through the state like I said I was going to.
Yeah, I didn't hear you. I didn't hear you.
As somebody else did.
As I'm driving down in your area, I'm coming up behind a Volkswagen with mass tags, and I'm like, "Could that
Really?
be Johnny?" and I pull up alongside, and I just pull up, and me and the missus both like stare over at the car, and there's some poor Korean kid just sitting there. All of a sudden, he looks over. He just looks terrified. Not Johnny, and I just blasted off.
Oh, that's funny. Oh man, that would have been funny if it was me.
Oh, let's go field trip.
Field trip? Trick or Treat Radio field
Yeah.
trip? Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
I don't know how the fuck we'll afford that. Patreon's not doing that well.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I guess.
Oh yeah, this was an expensive trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I got a impending sabbatical, so I don't. Maybe just watch the DVDs.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe there's a bootleg of someone walking through the park.
Yeah, just show me your pictures again.
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
So we're down in MZ. We gained an Aries this week. Aries, I know you. I don't know if you did. You watch the Sonata by chance?
I did not. No,
Okay,
I was going to try to, but it's just been I've been hectic even when I came back trying to get caught up with work.
Well, then you had a 2.5 hour movie to watch for this week.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, that's too.
But I think generally we, if I recall correctly, Jesus, it was last week. It seemed like forever ago though. But I think we generally liked the Sonata, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So might be worth checking out for you. Rutger Hauer is in it for kind of a little cameo. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still probably going to try to squeeze it in just so I can have it in the running towards the top 13.
Yeah.
Because it'll be in your top 13 so far.
So far, yeah.
Because we haven't watched 13 movies yet.
Oh, yeah. And I just wanted to throw this out that as on Thursday night, about 8:15, 8:20, somewhere around there, I'm waiting to go in and have dinner. And I was like, you know what? Fucking show's on, I bet. Yeah. Open up the phone, turn on the show, and start watching a little bit of it. And MC's just talking about porn.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
And I know, I'm like, all of a sudden, the table's ready, so I go sit down, and all of a sudden my phone starts blowing up on messages. I open up one of the messages, and all of a sudden it looks like wrestlers are blowing each other. Like, what the fuck are these assholes doing to me? I'm in a Disney restaurant. Waiter's behind me. Can I get you something to drink, sir? And I'm like, yeah. Excuse me. Go away.
Oh shit, that's funny because
That's why you guys got that I hate you all message.
Oh my god, that's fucking hilarious.
Oh, the Oreo one. That's nice. You pass the salt?
That was the denouement, Raven Shadow.
Oh, denouement. The ultimate denouement. Yeah. It sucks when you're not here.
Yes, it does. It's the last time I check in when I'm not here, though.
No, you can't go on vacation anymore. I stopped doing that.
Vacation or vacation, Raven Shadow?
All right, fair. Vacation, not vacation.
Gotcha.
I was thinking about that the other day. That was a rough night. I want to talk about it. And a really bad boat. I don't want to talk about it, but it was a bad boat ride the following day too.
A bad boat ride.
Boat ride.
Oh, the fucking Cape.
You were on the ocean in this weather.
No, years ago.
Oh,
The vacation night.
the vacation. Oh, that okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm a little slow.
Yeah.
I've only had this much whiskey.
Yeah, the whiskey will help.
Yeah.
Did Raven?
Oh, yeah, Clontarf.
I got Clontarf, yeah. Nice cold bottle's been sitting in my truck for a couple hours.
Did Raven Shadow clean your cup for you while you were gone?
No, it was dusty. I had to rinse it.
I ain't touched the fucking cup. I tried to fucking wash it like a gentleman, and I got yelled at.
Sitting around for 2 weeks. Dusty. I got to wash that.
Well, yeah, I'd wash it for you.
I'll put some more hair
Open
on your
up that-
chest, Aries.
Yeah. Do you have a beard tan?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I didn't look.
Yeah.
Oh, can I tell you? I spent 3 days in Disney parks before I realized what I fucking looked like walking around Disney parks. That's a little scary.
Yeah, a little bit.
I had my sunglasses on and my, I don't know what you call it, like a floppy hat, like brim all the way around. I look like a serial killer.
Yeah.
I was day 3 in the park before I went, no wonder why no one's talking to me.
Yeah.
Unabomber.
Yeah.
Stormtroopers didn't bust Aries balls.
Yeah. And move along, move along.
So you go
TK421, why aren't you at your post?
Go ahead. You can stay as long as you want.
Oh shit! Yeah, we envisioned you going and like going out onto the beach without a shirt on, and then getting a tan, and then underneath your beard it was all white still. All right, so what else is going on? I thought there was some other stuff I wanted to talk about. Oh, I went to a concert last night. I'll talk real quick about it. The name of the band is Heilung, Heilung. They're a tough band to describe. I will describe them as folk music. Not your grandfather's folk music though, Raven Shadow.
Oh, not like I don't know what's. Come on down to the fucking folk town. I don't know what's
not like that.
Like a mighty wind, like.
Yeah, not like that. No. So they're referred to as an experimental folk band, made up of people from throughout Europe, like Denmark, Norway, Germany, and their music is based on texts and runic inscriptions from Germanic peoples of the Bronze, Iron, and Viking Age.
That scared the shit out of me already.
So they describe their own music as amplified history from early medieval Northern Europe. So it's about like Norse deities, Valkyries, Jotnar, and Heilung is a German for healing. So they basically do it's almost like they do basically like a ritual. Is kind of how like they start off by like kind of like cleansing the stage. There's someone walks by with like I think it was Palo Santo, which is a like a wood that you burn. And then they did like a little ritual in the middle, and then they started playing music. It was pretty fucking cool. Obviously, T-Dog knows a lot about the runes and a lot about the culture, so she understands a lot better than I do. But I've been able to ascertain a pretty good amount, and it was pretty interesting. It's actually pretty theatrical as well, where they had like they were kind of like acting some stuff out on stage as they're performing. My guess was it had to do with the text of the words of what they were saying, and there's even the singer sort of like mimics runes, like I'm doing like the YMCA type thing, but she like mimics runes with her body when she sings some song. So it was cool, definitely an experience, that's for sure. And it was sold out. It was a place called the Fillmore in Silver Spring, Maryland, like right near DC. So actually a pretty cool venue. Reminded me a little bit of the House of Blues in Boston. I don't know if you guys have been to that venue yet. But
some of the photos, they look pretty wild.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty wild. So no, it was fun, and it was just them, no opening act or anything like that. They played a good 90-minute set, and definitely interesting. They have one of the big things that got them to some notorieties. They released a live performance on YouTube for free. So if you look up Heilung Lifa, Lifa, you can see the whole performance, and it's got a lot of that stuff that I was referencing. So if people want to check out what they're all about, it's it's like I said, experimental music. It's a lot of drums and a lot of just voice, obviously, and chanting, and some interesting instruments. There's some horns and percussive type instruments. So it's pretty cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. So I don't know if anyone. I don't know if I can play any. I don't know if I have any available to play. I'll play like a quick little thing here. I'll just look up on YouTube. Yeah, YouTube's gonna love me here when I play their fucking music. Here, let me skip ahead a little bit. So a lot of percussion, drums.
Okay. Wolves.
Was
Was it Fenris Wolf?
Yes, I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit. So you can hear it does sort of like it's almost like throat singing a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
But
Be
it's,
careful.
it's
You
cool.
might have been in the Sonata.
What's that?
You might have been in the Sonata.
Yeah, maybe.
Demons might arise.
Yeah, they might. I think they did actually. So yeah, so it was fun. So if anyone wants to check them out, go check them out. It's pretty readily available, and they got I think 2 or 3 albums out. So
Cool.
trying to think if there's anything else. I don't think I saw any. I don't think I saw any movies. One thing I just saw was apparently the Obi-Wan TV show is now on hold indefinitely, which kind of sucks. Yeah, I guess they were going to do 6 episodes, and I guess they decided to kind of like cut it back to 4, and they weren't happy with the script, so they're basically going back to the drawing board. Someone theorized, I don't think there's any truth to this, but someone theorized that Obi-Wan was going to be looking over Luke and Leia, so they thought that it might mimic the Mandalorian a little bit too much, having him look after younger people. So that's just one person's theory. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but I think it's different. Honestly, if they went that direction, I think that's different enough. It's fucking Luke and Leia, you know. So
Yeah, that sounds a little far fetched because I mean he's there on Tatooine to look over Luke to begin with, but he's not babysitting him like the Mandalorian was.
Right,
Like
Yeah.
with the Yoda.
Exactly.
If that's the case, I think people like. I mean, once again, John, I marked out when I saw Aries photos. I love Star Wars, but like, how could it be Leia when she's on Alderaan living a high life, balling like a princess?
True.
So would it be like Ben Kenobi, like peeping Tom, like watching in the shower, like that crazy old hermit who's perving on young Skywalker? Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's fucking weird, right? Like, I don't understand.
I want that action figure variant, the peeping Tom. Ben Kenobi, peeping Tom.
Yeah, moisture farmer.
Oh, that has weird connotations.
It is fucking weird, right? Like,
Well, you like to call out all the time about fucking Cracker Farm Boy.
to be fair, and you think no wonder fucking Uncle Owen doesn't want that crazy old pervy fucking, touchy Kenobi showing up. Like, why is you fucking shit, dude? That crazy old hermit. We got a restraining order, dog. Like, can't come around it.
Restraining order.
Yeah. Obi-Wan's Ben Kenobi and fucking same fucking beard, same fucking robe.
Oh, maybe that's why he changed his name.
I would say change the fucking last name.
Maybe he was on. Maybe he was on a list.
He might be. Imagine him knocking on Jabba's palace.
How about
Hey,
that
Jabba.
script? Let's write this. Let's do this.
Jabba would be like, oh,
Hello there, Jabba.
yeah. Fucking weird. Not that I think Ben Kenobi did anything wrong. I'm just saying is that it's very weird that he only changed one name and watched Cracker Farm Boy grow up from being a lad to like, a 20-something-year-old blonde pretty boy.
Yeah.
Why? Just saying. It's fucking weird. Yoda made a run for it, hung out in a swamp. Leia lived in the high life. And crazy old Ben's watching young,
He's looking after him.
He's looking after him. Yeah, looking after him, yeah.
He was looking at him from looking at.
See,
they do.
we're back to
Looking
peeping
after him
Tom
from
now.
afar.
Johnny, listen.
We're
All
back
right.
to peeping Tom now.
Yeah. If I'm curious about a young kid down the street, I want him to do well.
Whoa.
And I tell the fucking authorities, I just want to watch out for him, dog. I can't fucking have that conversation.
You're gonna have to go knock on all your neighbors' doors and tell
Yes,
them.
fuck. It was fucking
Jesus.
cold out, dude.
Evil
It's my
Corny says Obi touch Kenobi.
Yeah, right. I mean, come on.
But that was the first name, and then he went with Ben.
Yeah.
You're really not being popular in the moisture community.
The moisture community.
Yeah, it's fucking weird.
Could you moisture farm at Galaxy's Edge, Aries?
There were actually a bunch of those around, and I thought it was a missed opportunity that they weren't near the bathrooms or watering fountains.
Yes.
Yeah.
The first one I saw, I'm like, there should be a water fountain underneath that thing. But no,
Did you have any blue milk?
they had it there, and I wasn't willing to try it.
$11 probably for
Oh, no, it was $8 for a glass and like $40 for like a jug of it. But I was like, I'm not paying $8 for something I know I'm gonna hate.
Yeah.
Even after knowing what it was, I guess it was like an almond milk base type thing.
Okay, yeah.
I was like, okay, that's not awful. You can almond milk. You had food coloring, but yeah, I'm not gonna drink it because it looks horrendous. Because they had blue and green milk.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you get to make your own lightsaber?
That was an option that I wasn't willing to pay for.
Oh, okay.
I was one of the few people walking around there that didn't have make their own lightsaber on the shoulder or make their own droid in a box. Those were the two big things. Both of them, I think the lightsaber was $250 and the droid was probably close to $200.
Really?
And I was
Ooh,
like, yeah,
man.
I can't. And it wasn't one thing if it was a life-size droid, but no, it was a tiny little foot-high droid.
Yeah, if it like did shit.
Well, it was remote control, but still.
Yeah, but if it, like
I go to Walmart and buy a remote control BB-8 and paint them if I wanted.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Make a blue. TT4 or some shit.
I mean, well, that's what it boiled down to. Just it was, you could make a BB-8, but make them blue or red or whatever else, or an R2 unit that was red or what, the base droid units.
Okay.
That you altered.
That fucking droid calms me down. I'll tell you that much.
What about was Babu Freak there?
You can refresh my memory.
Little thing.
Wait, have you seen Rise of Skywalker yet?
Yeah.
Oh,
was he the little guy?
He was the droid master.
Yeah,
working on C-3PO.
Yeah, maybe he was in the droid area. I didn't go in there. It was just too hectic.
Yeah.
The droid area and lightsaber area, I just didn't even try to approach.
Fuck that, yeah.
Speaking of, I guess we're on the fucking Star Wars tip. So, I guess some art, concept art was released for Colin Trevorrow's Duel of the Fates. Did you guys see that or hear about that?
Yeah, nope.
I don't know the last part you said, but I saw some concept art that looked fucking cool.
So Colin Trevorrow he's the guy that did Jurassic World, and he was originally going to direct episode 9. And so he had written up he had a script for it, and then apparently once Carrie Fisher was no longer around, they had to rework the script because she was going to be a main part of it. So I think he was off the project by that point, though. I don't remember exactly the timeline, but he had written a script, he had it all set, and apparently, well, I'm not going to spoil. I guess it's been a while for Rise of Skywalker, so people have probably seen it if they care. But I'm not going to call out things about that. But there were some differences, and one of them being Kylo was like the main baddie, like all the way through. And they're apparently like we were going to see Coruscant. That was going to be like a big part of like an invasion by the First Order on Coruscant. And Rey was going to wear a black outfit, very similar to Luke's Return of the Jedi outfit.
Yep.
So there was some cool stuff. There's a video out there, and someone posts on YouTube. Someone posted basically all the concept art that was apparently leaked. I don't know how legit it is, but it looked legit from what I could tell. So,
Ain't that fucking movie?
You know,
the one I saw was the. I mean, it's constantly fucking spoiling, but it was a shackled Chewbacca with Kylo Ren like interrogating him or fucking with him. Did you see that one?
No, it must have been a different thing. This one had like Luke grabbing a saber blade Like it was like blue glowy Luke grabbing like a saber blade and holding it in his hand. That was one of the ones.
Like with his metal hand.
Yeah, but he was a glowy, so Force Ghost.
The Force Ghost holding a lightsaber by the blade.
Yeah. But there was
some
cool stuff.
Okay. I mean, listen, I'm not gonna bad mouth, but
you.
But you're
no. There's a lot of missed opportunity. I think it's fair to say there really was no plan, right?
Well,
this wasn't.
Are you talking about the 3 new sequels?
Yes.
So
the new trilogy didn't have it all figured out.
Well, I mean,
You go ahead, Johnny.
yeah, there's a lot of retconning for sure. Like, the Emperor was not supposed to be part of this from the beginning. Like, that was completely retconned. But they did a good enough job. Like, it's still like, it would have been nice to have some foreshadowing or something, But I think that it satisfied me to the point where I wasn't like, fuck this, Like, I think it was just enough to make it somewhat believable. But it is, like I would have loved to had like at the end of Last Jedi, if this was planned, to have like the Emperor laugh, in the credits or something like that, or right at the end or something, or hear his transmission, that they talked about, they referenced at the end of The Last Jedi, and have like a kind of like a big like sort of like Empire Strikes Back down moment,
And I think what truly for me, which it didn't feel like a trilogy because the first 2 films run right into each other.
Right. It was basically the day after. Last Jedi was like, all right, well, this is what happens the next day,
Because I saw that with you, Aries, and Thomas Smythe. I couldn't figure out why the fuck does Poe not know who Rey is? I'm like, oh, it's the fucking like the next day.
Yeah.
So I thought the time jump for Rise of Skywalker was better because not only that, you had adventures that took place between other movies.
There was character interaction in between, so
yeah,
it fills in the storytelling shorthand, or whatever you want to call it.
I'm with you with that. I didn't like the immediate, because I couldn't wrap my head around that it was an immediate, hours after the first movie.
Right. So for me, it's like, it's like one long flick. So it's like for 3 movies, for a trilogy, there's only really 2 movies, in my opinion. From a certain point of view.
Yeah, no, I mean, I understand what you're saying there.
And like, isn't it kind of weird they kind of hedge their bets on Carrie Fisher? Like, much respect. Thank you, Princess. Like, I get Harrison Ford. You get him for, 5 fucking days. I knew his ending when I knew he was announced.
Oh, yeah, because he wanted to die in Jedi.
Right, and to be fair, he had more screen time in than I expected.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here was what was happening with those movies is that each of these last 3 movies belonged to one of the original 3.
Yeah.
Solo was the first one. Skywalker was the second one. Leia was supposed to be the third one.
Yeah.
Carrie Fisher's passing prevented what they wanted to do with the third one, where it was going to be mostly her out of the original 3.
Yeah.
So that caused them just to have to completely rewrite the script. If the main person the story is revolving around is dead, you got to change the script. Yes. I mean, that creates a big problem.
Yeah, and I think all things considered, I think they did a good job of utilizing what they had. Like, I think they did a really good job because she wasn't around to film any of it. They used basically like scenes that were on the cutting room floor from I think from Force Awakens. Maybe it was some stuff from Last Jedi too. I don't know, but yeah, like a lot of that stuff was just stuff that they cut and they were able to repurpose. So I mean, yeah, we don't have to get too into this, but I just wanted to kind of bring that up. It's interesting because and then supposedly J.J. Abrams wasn't happy with the final cut, and the Disney board of directors changed a lot of stuff. They re-edited it without his approval. So
Really?
Yeah, I guess his original cut was going to be close to 3 hours, and then he knew he had to cut it down, but he got it down to like 2 hours and 35 minutes, and then they cut an additional like 14 minutes, and it ended up being like 2 hours 22 minutes or something like that. So, But that's the way it goes when money like that is involved, I guess. So. All right. Well, I think we've talked enough Star Wars for for many shows.
I beg to differ.
Meanwhile, I'm staring at something that Corny posted in the chat, and it's fucking Luke drinking the fucking milk of the teat of that alien on the island.
And Luke has the exact expression I would have if I drank that.
Hey, nope.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah, get you some, dude. Tap that fucking.
Yeah,
beast.
that could very easily be me, just with better hair.
Yeah, it actually looks kind of like you when you had hair. Actually,
Yeah.
Hair was flowing. Hair was flowing. I do like that scene. It's a classic. It shows he's the fucking farm boy. Like he don't give a fuck. He'll milk something. He ain't fucking scared.
All right, let's move on. Let's wrap this shit up. So, all right, if you guys want to help support the show, there's a few ways you can do so. Number one, check out Patreon, patreon.com/trickortreatradio. And on there, for as little as $2 a month, you can help support the show, keep it going. If you guys want that exclusive content, that exclusive feed, $5 a month for that right there. And then, like I said, we're going to be recording a couple more episodes this upcoming weekend to get some fun stuff planned. So looking forward to that. So you guys can keep an eye out for that. And patreon.com/trickortreatradio. And then we also have a couple other ways. You guys use Amazon. You go there, you shop, you buy all your shit there. Use our link. Click on the Amazon logo on trickortreatradio.com. Just go to trickortreatradio.com, scroll down, look for the logo, click it. It'll bring you right to Amazon. Input our affiliate link, and everything you purchase in that session gets attributed to us. It doesn't cost them any extra, Raven Shadow.
But it's another way to help keep the lights on.
That's right. And finally, you can head over to trickortreatradio.com, click on the store, and in there you're going to find some digital goods. We've got the greatest hits of Trick or Treat Radio Volumes 1 through 3, and we'll get some other stuff. So give it a look. Help support the show. Keep us going. And, so we can all go to Galaxy's Edge one day.
Like all share like the same, like we get like a 3-day pass.
Yeah,
and just
yeah.
like pass around.
Evil Corny makes a good point. He says MZ isn't here to get mad about Star Wars, so keep talking, Wolfie.
Ooh,
That's true. What else does MZ not like? He doesn't like comics. He always glosses over when we talk about comics or Star Wars. We should just talk about the San Diego chicken for the rest of the fucking episode.
Yeah. You know what? We should do a fucking 2-hour fucking Transformers conversation. How about that?
That'll be pissed.
I'll learn them.
I went on a Transformers ride.
Did you really?
Yeah. At Universal Studios, Transformers ride.
Oh.
But it's all the Bruckheimer Transformers, so he wouldn't have been.
But he still saw those fucking movies.
We saw him, but he'd be just like, fuck Transformers. Oh, can I tell you?
Yes.
I saw Bumblebee, the movie, the Transformers movie. Bumblebee.
You saw the film?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bumblebee is now my new favorite Transformer.
Really?
Yeah. Have you seen the movie?
I've not.
No. At one point, they pop a Smith's cassette into his tape player, and he immediately shoots it out across the room. Bumblebee hates the Smith. He's my favorite Transformer.
And loves Black Flag.
But how do we know he wouldn't spit out just a solo Morrissey tape?
I don't care. Morrissey even better. Spit out Morrissey. Yep. I'm watching Bumblebee alone in my living room, and he spits out that, and I fist pumped. I was There's not enough Smiths hate in the world.
Oh shit, we got hanging out in the chat room. First time in a long time. First time Mike.
Oh shit, is this first time chat?
First time no. He says, evening family, got some time to hang out tonight. And he says, wow, the San Diego chicken put the Sicilian curse on MZ, huh?
Yeah, you can't fuck around with that.
All right, so that is the ways you can help the show. Also, you can help us if you don't have any funds to spare. You can just give us a review, especially Apple Podcasts. That's the big one. If you guys use iTunes, Apple Podcasts, whatever the fuck, go ahead, click that 5 stars. Then underneath it says write a review. Go ahead and click that, and then just add a few thoughts. Let people know what you dig about the show, why they might like it, because we would appreciate the little signal boost. And also, you can always share it, What's the one thing we don't really talk about? If you like the show, you think other people will enjoy it, just go ahead and share it. Share it on social media. Let people know about it. Spread the virus, as Raven Shadow likes to say.
That's
Oh.
true. And you don't gotta fucking mean it. You just like it. You know what I mean? Just share it. You can just lie in your
Not
review.
not that coronavirus though. We don't need that.
And what the fuck is that? Is that like fucking like you don't drink that beer? Like
Yeah,
I
it's
had some fucking
people who
Coronas.
People who like bad beer. Actually, I don't know if Corona's a bad beer. I'm just
It is a
It's
bad
not
beer.
great.
okay.
I mean,
Okay.
It's
Says the
it's not
guy who drinks Bud Light.
Listen, I have a better time telling you what I don't drink. You know what I'm saying? But Corona is not the worst bad beer, but it's not good.
It's not the best bad beer.
Yeah, it's not the worst bad beer, but it's you know.
It's not the beer for
Yeah.
you, Raven Shadow.
Yeah, if you're watching Fast and the Furious, you could have that.
What
Oh.
does one have to do with the other?
Because there's a scene in Fast and the Furious when he got that.
Where they
Vin
drink
Diesel's having a
Corona?
party, he's like, you can have any beer you want as long as it's Corona. That's all they have.
And people wonder why I don't want to watch that movie.
Oh,
one.
creepy girl's sad. She says no MZ, and there's like 6 like crying faces.
At 6 or is it 5?
Oh, 5.
That's
Oh, sorry. I got 3 screens, Aries.
Oh, okay. I was like, well, you know what? 6 would mean something. 5, I'm just like, eh.
That was Johnny saying "fuck you" right there. Subtle style.
It doesn't have to be subtle. He's 1,000 miles away from me. What am I going to do?
Not quite. It's
got
like 350 miles. And first time Mike says, I got mad respect for the evil eye, yo.
You got to fucking respect the eye, brother.
Respect the eye, brother. Respect the eye, brother. Let me tell you
Yeah.
something, brother.
You gotta be careful. Like, some shit you can't fucking say, man. You better knock on that wood quick. Well, you don't fucking taste shit during a fucking no hitter. You don't fucking, just don't tempt fates, man. Get enough fucking problems.
Tell me how to live my life.
Well, all right. Well, then be fucking careful when you have dinner. See what happens.
I haven't choked yet.
Well, there.
That's good advice, though. Especially, considering. Evil Corny says, did that Transformers ride turn into a timeshare sales meeting, Aries?
I know it did not. I avoided all those meetings that they were trying to get you on. Every time you turned around, there's the vacation Disney vacation plan going on.
Oh yeah.
Can we talk to you for a minute? No. I got to go over here.
My virtual number is up. I'm in the virtual queue. That's a good excuse. All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, no. Go ahead.
All right. So I was just going to wrap the shit up. So Raven Shadow,
Yes.
you sit down and watch Dr. Sleep, a 2.5-hour movie with Obi-Wan Kenobi in it, with Obi Touch Kenobi. What do you do to prepare for this fucking movie?
Oh, I was getting nervous, Johnny, because I didn't get a chance to go to fucking Florida and ride the Millennium Falcon. I was here in New England, and we shoveled last weekend, so it was pretty cool because it snowed.
You had 4 inches of snow.
Listen, I'm on an elevated place, so I had 5 inches. Okay, so I'm on a hill.
Bullshit. But I'm impressed you had your driveway cleared.
See?
I was fully prepared to ice skate across your driveway to get into
Listen,
this
no,
house.
he's fucking driveway shaming me again. I was on a weekend. I had plenty of time to do it. It's not like I get home.
Oh yeah, no. I was all prepared to be all over you because it snowed 2 days before I came into the state, and I still had my driveway clear. So I was like, that motherfucker better have his driveway clear.
He's a fucking god, and he has a plow, folks.
I don't
by the
have
way.
a plow.
No.
My work has a plow, and I cannot do my own driveway.
Is it illegal?
He's a fucking god.
No, it's not legal. I'll get in trouble.
Yeah, you can't.
I'll work all night long plowing my works, everything they need to get done, and then I come home and shovel my own driveway.
That sucks.
Yes, it does. So you have no excuse.
Well, I have lots of excuses, but
That
And they
is
also-
true.
no, it got too fucking cold, creepy girl. So, yeah, so I get nervous. So I didn't have that, and I was tired, John. I worked the job, worked the shop, and I was concerned. I was eating. I was having Marion came over, keep me company, but I was concerned because it was a fucking 2.5-hour movie. Dr.
With sleep in the title.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'm gonna fucking sleep. When the fucking doctor shows up, it's like, what the fuck's going on? But you know what? I calmed down. I had some good company, kind of got energized, and I slowed down. I chewed my food appropriately.
Your Franks and beans.
My breaks and beats. I had that today. Really fast, by the way. I didn't fucking choke. I did. Aries came in, and I had some fucking hot dogs.
In Franks and beans, and I'm like, this is going to be a long fucking night in this little room with him.
You know what? Didn't fucking choke. So listen, I love you, MZ, but you ain't fucking listening. Just be fucking careful. Use straws. And then I fucking strapped on.
The following message is a paid advertisement for the Cult of Muscle podcast. The Cult of Muscle. You're either in it or you're dead.
It's the dawning of a new age. The halls of Valhalla have been shuttered. The heroes of yore have either retreated to the shadows or taken to capering for the amusement of the small folk. Their past glories a distant memory. The barbells have been torn from their once puma-strong grips. The beards shorn from their square jaws, only to be transplanted onto flannel-clad, puny weaklings with fingers barely powerful enough to strum a ukulele. The time has come, my brothers, to restore order from the chaos. No longer will our heroes be forgotten. No longer will their great deeds be viewed through a foggy lens of irony. Hear now our rallying cry as we scream it from the mountaintops, as we bellow it from iTunes and Libsyn and Facebook. It's time to join the cult, my brothers. So don your cloaks and enter the Cult of Muscle.
Thank you guys for having me on. It's a blast. You guys are awesome.
Thank you so much.
And, Trick or Treat Radio, man. That's where it's at. That's the new Fangoria Radio is Trick or Treat Radio.
Oh,
Don't say that.
That's like, you really put us under.
It's like swearing in church. Huh?
You just jinxed us.
Yeah. You put a lot on our shoulders just now.
Well, we can strive for greatness.
You guys are awesome.
Yeah,
you really are. You got a great show.
Oh, delicious nerds. Ms. M knows you like to chat it up with other sexy shut-ins about comics, movies, video games, and your favorite TV shows. If that sounds like you, cuddle up to the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group, or the FIB. That stands for Fan Interaction Board. Just go to Facebook and search for Trick or Treat Radio and have more fun than a Jedi at a lightsaber sale. Not enough? Watch us on YouTube, The Deadites TV, all one word. Last but not least, check out the world's most dangerous talk radio show, Trick or Treat Radio, at trickortreatradio.com.
I could be standing outside a woman's prison in a fistful of 50s and a bouquet of dildos, and no woman would come near me.
We're back on Trick or Treat Radio. Well, at least me and Aries are.
Yeah. Well, you know where Raven Shadow is.
Oh, yeah. We need like a 5-minute break to cover
God,
him.
that wouldn't even be.
No. All right. So I'll run down what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Dr. Sleep. This film from 2019 was theatrically released November 8th, 2019. Rated R. It is 2 hours, 32 minutes. It is a drama, fantasy, horror. And it is written the screenplay is written by Mike Flanagan and directed by Mike Flanagan. And, of course, it's based on a book by Stephen King. And the film stars Ewan McGregor, Rebecca Ferguson, Kylie Curran, Cliff Curtis, Zahn McClarnon, Emily Allen Lind, and also, let me see, and Carol Strucken as Grandpa Flick, who I recognized him as Lurch from the Addams Family, the films from the 90s. And the synopsis, Years following the events of The Shining, a now adult Dan Torrance must protect a young girl with similar powers from a cult known as the True Knot, who prey on children with powers to remain immortal. So, this one here, so we don't typically do a ton of theatrical releases. It's very rare that we do them as they're a theatrical release, but this one had had come out in theaters. I was hoping to catch it in theaters, and I never got a chance to. But this is a film that I really wanted to check out, and I figured that it was good because there wasn't a whole lot of other stuff that was out there right now. There's a big, a bunch of stuff coming out in the coming weeks, but not a whole lot coming out on VOD, and this was hitting VOD, and I thought it was a great opportunity, so that's why we're covering it.
I'm actually very, very excited that we're covering this.
Yeah.
I don't know, because this was something, when I first heard about this, I was excited about it, even though it's been so long since the original story happened, and I'm one of those guys that's like, you know what, if you don't get the fucking sequel out within a few years, why bother? It's like, everyone's forgotten about it. There's no relevance in this. But I felt that this story was something that was, it made more sense that it was, you waited, and you told the story of the adult Danny in today's age, rather than just 2 years after, and he's 13 rather than 11, and it's it just seemed to make more sense. This was one of those movies where it made sense to actually wait for the sequel. I doubt that was a conscious decision where he's like, oh, I'll wait and let him grow up, but it works. This 100% works on paper to have it at this time.
What's the thing too? I mean, like I love that Stephen King exists. I love his work. Well, I've not read.
He hasn't choked on chicken yet.
He has. I mean, he was hit by a fucking van or a truck.
Yeah.
And did like Sam Kinison amounts of cocaine, which I love the fact that some of his greatest novels, he has no fucking idea that he wrote them because he was so fucking wired on blow. That's a fucking writer. Pay attention. But remember when you wrote that? Nope. I was out of my fucking mind on 8 balls. Didn't read. Imagine turning that in. I'm fascinated by that. But I love that he still produces, and the dude doesn't go to the well. So it seems like when he had the idea for the story, it was a natural, idea. It wasn't like, oh, I got to fucking pay a mortgage. Let's see what fucking Danny Torrance is up to.
But yeah, well, I guess this is born from the fact that people kept on asking him what happened to Danny.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and he would come up with wise ass remarks that he married I forget the Drew Barrymore from Firestarter. There, I forget the character's name.
Oh, that's a fucking movie right there.
That would be an amazing movie, yes.
Holy
but that
shit.
was one of the things that his response would be, that they married and are living happily ever after, as happy as you can be in the Stephen King universe.
Yeah.
But you know what? And so I guess he got bored with just having the bullshit comical responses, and decided to actually come up with a real answer to that. What happened to Danny?
And I think it works. I mean, I love the fact too that despite all the horror, that for me, I think King always interjected some comic book superhero elements to his work. Which he's a fan. I mean, to my knowledge, he is a fan of almost all media. So I like that he has powers. Maybe not superheroes, but powers. And making this since we've seen, Danny, more people having this X gene or the Shining, whatever you want to call it, are being more prolific.
Yeah. So the interesting thing about this, now obviously we know The Shining from Stanley Kubrick is probably one of the most beloved horror films of all time. Is that safe to say? Would you guys say?
I'd say that, yes.
Yeah. And it's a classic. It's a classic film, and it's an amazing film. And I talk a lot about Stanley Kubrick. I'm a huge fan of his work. My favorite director, if not one of my favorites, my favorite. And, so I hold The Shining in high regard as just a phenomenal piece of art. And so I was approached this with a little trepidation because I have to admit, and I know this probably isn't a very popular opinion, but the director, Mike Flanagan, I don't love anything that he's done per se. Like some of the things that he did The Haunting of Hill House with the Netflix series, and I will admit I haven't seen it. I do want to see it. I just watching TV is tough. I have to just kind of pick and choose my shows because it's a lot of time investment. So I didn't get a chance to see that. And he did Gerald's Game. He did Ouija, Origin of Evil, Before I Wake. He did Hush, Oculus. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I've seen. So Oculus is okay. Hush, I didn't really like. Do you guys remember Hush? That's the one we did with the deaf girl who, like, the home invasion. Raven Show's drawing a blank.
No,
okay.
yeah, I do. Okay, that was fine.
Yeah,
because
it was
actually
fine.
wondering. Yeah, it was fine. What are you gonna do? He made a movie.
I don't know.
I think it was.
I don't remember.
I think it was
I'm
before.
assuming I was up that week.
Yeah, I think it was before Aries came back.
Yeah, when Aries sabbaticals.
Sabbatical, really, motherfucker.
We get some time off, doing God shit, riding spiders.
Corny had a funny comment a few minutes ago. He said, "Dr. Smoke is at it now." That's when you were away on.
That's funnier than Corny even knows. That's that only Aries and I will get that reference, but that's pretty funny. But I wonder about this dude's pedigree, and I mean, obviously, let's say there was some nods to Kubrick in this.
Oh, there was more than a few nods.
Yeah,
and that's kind of where I was going to go because. Stephen King has said he doesn't like Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. He doesn't think it's a good adaptation of his work. Now, I don't know if they, I don't know. I don't know if they had a falling out, if they didn't get along well. Who knows, right? Like, that was 1980. That's probably when King was doing a whole lot of blow. And, who knows? Who knows? I mean, so it's hard to really speak about that because I didn't go back and research and find out more about the the sort of the relationship that they had, if they even had one. Maybe it was just that Kubrick just took his work and did what he wanted with it, and King was like, what the fuck, So I don't know the full story there. I just know that King doesn't really love Kubrick's The Shining, but he liked the TV miniseries that came out of The Shining.
Well, that was more him. That was Stephen King's The Shining.
Yes, yeah, and that's probably.
Well, they attached that name to separate it from the movie.
Yeah,
fair.
But Stephen King did have a little more say in the production of it.
And I feel like that was probably late 90s. Am I right in that? I know
the miniseries.
That sounds about
2000s.
right. Was it really?
I thought that was in the 2000s. I'm not sure.
Which, once again, that's 20 fucking years ago. I remember getting the old-fashioned TV guide with that being on the cover.
It was 1997.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's only like 4 years ago. Okay.
Yeah, right.
It was 4.5 hours, 3 episodes. Starred Rebecca De Mornay, Steven Weber.
Tim Daly? Am I right in that? Maybe not.
No, that's those two guys from Wings. You're just getting the Wings guys mixed up.
But it was a Wing guy, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. But I think that came out at the wrong fucking time because that was TV movies was still fucking like whack TV movies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was before like they really started to push the boundaries with that stuff. Like they didn't have to like, the network TV that was still king. Like HBO was still just a movie thing and streaming networks.
Right, pre-Sopranos. That's pre.
Yeah, so it was just they could do whatever the fuck they wanted. America was going to watch what was on the big three.
Right.
Like even Fox, I think, was still like, picking up the coattails at that point.
Yeah, I mean, like Fox was probably the most outrageous thing in town.
Yeah, but they were still number 4, like trailing behind. Yeah,
exactly. So I mean, were they to do that now, it could be different if that was on Netflix, if that was on Hulu or some shit.
Oh, if they were going to do that now, that would definitely be something. That wouldn't be a network. That would be HBO or Netflix or something like that, where they could push the boundaries.
Right, right.
Yeah, for sure. So, it was interesting that this comes out basically 40 years after The Shining. And I like that they referenced. I don't. It's been a long time since I've read The Shining, so I don't remember when it took place, but they referenced the year that The Shining came out. So I don't know if that's any of the years that were referenced in the book, but that's the year that the film came out. So they kept referencing 1980 as like in the beginning of the movie, the very first thing they show is 1980 is Rose the Hat. Kind of abducting that girl at the very beginning. So
yeah, Violet, right?
Yeah, Violet. Yeah. You're turning Violet. So there's a lot of reference to that, and apparently that goes a little bit deeper as well. I was sort of like I really was hoping to do some more research on this, but I just was I just didn't have the time to do it with the concert last night and then also, just didn't have the time. So some of the similarities, I guess, is, and this isn't kind of no surprise if you've seen it, but Danny Torrance is the hero of both Dr. Sleep and The Shining. Like, the interesting thing is, I did, and like Aries said, I liked his arc. Like, where else would you go from what happened at the Overlook? With your fucking father, like, where do you go from there? You become a fuck up, right?
Yeah.
that happens 9 times out of 10, based on what happened earlier in his life, right?
Right, you deal with some major trauma, some major PSTD, shell shock, as a result of that night.
Yeah.
You're also growing up in the 80s and the 90s where things weren't, how they are now. So yeah, you probably do get fucked up and hide your fucking pain with, drugs and chicks and shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely like, kind of burning the candle at both ends. Like he was fucked up, and I thought that was kind of a logical point of like, oh yeah, okay, well that makes sense, because we're joining him. Because I think when they do, I think it cuts to, is it 2011 is when they cut to, from 1980 to like 2011, I think.
Yes,
because there was an 8-year period of him in his new surroundings.
That's right. Yep. So he, at basically 31 years later, he was fucked up and drunk and doing drugs and whatever, and just having sex with random people, like. And then, you kind of get like a little time jump of seeing him sort of like clean himself up and getting right. So I thought that was, I thought that made a lot of sense, and kind of what drove him in that direction, I guess, also made kind of sense. So I thought that was good, the way they played it out. First time Mike in the chat room says, "It's the Shinning boy. You want to get sued?"
In this movie, I remember.
One more comment. Evil Corny says, "Rose the Hat can take my steam, if you know what I mean."
Oh yeah,
We do.
I'm with you. Yeah,
I like the whole Four Non Blondes thing that was going on with the whole. Yeah, meet Zatanna. Yeah, that worked okay.
That worked okay.
That was all right. But it's also the unenviable position of somehow. I remember hearing about this. They were going to be a sequel to the film and the book.
Yeah,
it's a little bit challenging.
They needed to play to both with this movie,
right?
Like they were trying to balance that between the book, the movie, and the miniseries. They tried to cater to all, but they needed to pick the one that the masses liked the most, and that was the movie. So that was what was more catered to.
Right, they had to pick the most iconic.
Yeah.
It's like, once again, it's like Ninja Turtles, right? It serves a lot of fucking masters, but you got to hit your high spots. But I think it did do a good balance of
it did
as best it could.
I mean, 'cause I am most familiar with the movie.
Sure.
I love the movie. The book I haven't read in years. I'll be perfectly honest. I read it probably back in the 80s was the last time I read that book. Never saw that miniseries. Wanted to, didn't see it. So I don't know how much it catered to that.
Yeah.
Memory catered a little bit to the book, but if you just watched the movie, you were not lost at all. Nothing was lost on you.
Yeah.
Right.
This definitely, you definitely could just watch the movie and then watch this sequel and not be missing anything at all.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing, I guess, is, once again, like, I haven't read the book in super long time, so I don't remember the details, but apparently where Stephen King's book and Stanley Kubrick's movie diverge greatly is when Dick Halloran was murdered in the movie. He survived the events of the novel. So in this, it says Dick Halloran remained friendly with both Wendy and Danny Torrance after the events of the book. So he also shows up in Dr. Sleep. When Danny has difficulty shaking off the ghosts of the Overlook, Dick pays him a visit and helps him to compartmentalize his trauma, using his own background as an abused child to help Danny understand how to overcome what he's dealing with. Dick dies in 1999, leaving Danny without his key supernatural ally, but even after his death, Dick isn't entirely gone from Danny's life. So that was one of the biggest one big divergence from the book and Kubrick's movie is Dick Halloran. So yeah, there's and there is a lot of, I mean, rightfully so. I mean, so that's what I was trying to figure out is where is Flanagan going to take this? Is he going to do basically a direct sequel to the book? Is he gonna go ahead and bring up aspects of the film? And right off the bat, we get a lot of stuff from the film. A lot of the imagery that is in the film, we get in this. Like, we get Danny riding his fucking tricycle, or not his tricycle, his
Big wheel.
Big wheel, thank you. Riding his big wheel through the fucking hotel.
Big wheel's a tricycle.
That's true, yeah.
I'd call it a tricycle.
No.
I'd call it a tricycle more than I call it a big wheel.
Aries, I'm not saying a lot of things right now.
Obviously.
he's pissed. He's pissed at you, I can tell. I was trying to be quiet.
He's pissed that my drink exploded. Apparently our discussion created a turmoil in my soda and caused it to explode.
I think
disagrees disturbance in the seltzer.
I think Ollie used the shinning.
He did, yeah. He's got fucking powers, dude.
Yeah, just powers to get you to feed him.
Well, that's fair. And I was so distracted. I liked everything that you were saying, Johnny, but I didn't yell or try to escape when this happened. But
you did good, Ravenshot. I'm proud of you.
Did good.
No, I thought they actually did a good job, like, playing the...
Don't make it go again!
Was that English?
Let me get it again. Stick to the whiskey, Aries.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Give me the keys, you cocksucker.
Yeah. No, I forget the character's name now. You see, you threw me off.
Dick Halloran?
The Halloran, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought they did a good job in the movie playing how he could have been for both the movie and the book.
Correct, yeah. I mean, once again, with that time jump, he wasn't no spring chicken back in the 80s either. So obviously, he very easily could have died of natural causes.
Oh yeah, but they explain it so well where it could have been that he actually could have been still alive at that point. Like there was no like definite, if you didn't see the movie,
yeah,
and you're watching this movie for the first time and seeing how other characters are interacting, this character could very well be alive in California, sitting on a beach talking to these people. Like, you didn't know how all these other characters are interacting through this astral plane.
Fair.
It's alive, dead, imaginary, whatever.
So
True.
One of the other things that was different was the Overlook. So apparently in King's, in his original novel, the Overlook burns down just the way, I guess maybe I shouldn't give away too much about this film in case people haven't seen it. But in the original novel, the Overlook is destroyed when a faulty boiler explodes. But while in Kubrick's film, the hotel obviously is still standing at the end. And so in the book version of Dr. Sleep, the site of the burned down Overlook plays an important role. So it's interesting. So in a sense, it's a sequel that's serving two masters, right?
Yeah, I think it did a really good job in doing that. I mean, it still had that, and maybe for me, I didn't know. I remember when this book came out, I knew someone that read it, and the idea was really intriguing about Danny's like job, being working in hospice.
Yeah,
I
thought that was interesting.
I really, really like that. So it still can have the denouement in the same location, but I think a very challenging thing to not only be the sequel to fucking Kubrick, which I think is, even though he didn't do it, it's the first sequel to something he worked on originally.
No, 2010.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fair. All right, well, no.
See how quickly I came up with that?
Barry Lyndon,
right.
Barry Lyndon 2. Electric Boogaloo. No, just kidding.
Wasn't it 2015? Maybe that was a trilogy. Clockwork Oranges.
Clockwork Apples. Clockwork Pears.
Why hasn't that been done?
Full Metal Jackets. We should make Clockwork Oranges.
Does it have to be called A Clockwork Oranges or just Clockwork Oranges?
Those Clockwork Oranges.
Two oranges.
Yeah. Subtitle: A Naval Disaster.
Oh, he also did the movie The Killing. Could be The Killings, right?
Yeah. Just throw an S on it. You don't give a fuck. Or just take out the Fast and Furious. Now it's just Fast and Furious. You motherfuckers ain't even trying, dudes. Like, you guys don't even give a fuck. But no, I liked that. I liked, and I think the people who they've had play the younger, the previous versions did a really good job.
They did a very good job of casting them.
Yes.
Like
young Danny was fucking. It might be the same fucking kid.
Yeah, honestly, I had trouble at the very beginning when he was riding the big wheel. I had trouble discerning whether or not that was the original film or not. I was like, holy shit, did they touch up the film? And then I realized like they showed a different view of Danny and it looked like a different actor, and I'm like, is it? But yeah, so it was tough to tell at times, which, I mean, that's that's a pretty big task in itself to make it believable like that,
And I think you got there's a little bit of you got to have some stones too if you're gonna do cool.
You got to have huge stones.
It's like you got.
You need a wheelbarrow to carry those motherfuckers around.
Excuse me, big balls coming through. Like fucking, like Masa Zero size balls. I'm fucking thinking about that, but even the shots, like, and on one hand, like, you're not copying Kubrick, but you're playing in the Kubrick world, so it's okay? Question mark.
Well, see, but some of it, there was obviously they were using original footage from the Shining.
Yeah.
So I wonder whether they just were using unused footage in trying to modernize it.
Well, the only
I don't know. There was some. There was
the only one that I know, like, that I could tell was the scene where he's looking through the door. Where the infamous scene, here's Johnny. Like,
yeah.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, you see that in Shelley Duvall.
Yeah, and they show Shelley Duvall. Yeah.
But if you're gonna go through the trouble and the effort of having the original footage, you might as well Like, you're not just going to do it for 30 seconds worth of footage.
Yeah.
You're going to utilize whatever you can.
That's fair. I did like. I mean, okay, Johnny.
I was just gonna say I thought that was weird that they only did it sometimes, but not others. You know.
See, well, yeah, because I actually questioned whether they should have used the actress that was portraying her in the footage that happened beyond. You know, whether reshooting it and putting her in it. And I am torn with this because it was Shelley Duvall, so I'm looking at it from they had Shelley Duvall. Should they have had the new actress? I realize that if they had the new actress, I'd probably be saying, should they have had Shelley Duvall? This is one of those questions that I will ask regardless of what they do. There is no correct answer. Any critic will question.
Do you think that scene worked more because it was at the Overlook and it was more okay for that? And maybe I'm not smart enough to articulate, but like we saw the flashback with the new actress and new Danny. But maybe did that scene work more because he was actually there? And maybe it's playing with Danny's memories and the ghosts and stuff to allow it being Shelley Duvall and not fake Shelley Duvall. You know what I'm trying to say? And looking through the looking glass of the door.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
I don't fully understand what you're trying to say. I'm just
me either.
Because they had these actors that were so closely represented to the original actors.
Yeah.
I question whether they should have eliminated the original actors altogether and just reshot with the new actors.
Interesting. I wanted a super long cigarette ash scene again.
So you could smoke again?
No, there's that scene where she has the ash that's just like...
Yeah, no, I get it. So you could be like, oh yeah, this is going to go on for a while. I can run down and have a couple of puffs.
I watched in the basement, though.
No.
So I'm looking here because apparently there's three shots that were taken from Kubrick's footage. So it says there are three. One is an island in a canyon, one of a car driving up a canyon road, and another is of a car driving up a canyon road. So, I mean, I guess they're all sort of similar. So there's that scene when they're going to the Overlook, and I thought to myself, I'm like, holy shit, they made this look like the drive to the Overlook at the beginning of The Shining. And apparently it was. So they said that the reason these were used is because the footage is absolutely impossible to create. Apparently, they felt it was impossible to recreate that. And they wanted to have it look like Danny Torrance was following in his father's footsteps, on the way up to the Overlook. So, and they were altered because in that scene, you can tell when they're driving up to the Overlook, it's night.
Yeah, okay.
So, but that was from Kubrick's The Shining. And it looks like everything else might have been recreated. So what Marion said, I think it was the new actress in that scene. And from what I'm reading, to me, it looked like Shelley Duvall. But to what I'm reading is if that's the case, there was only those three shots that were taken from Kubrick, and the rest was recreated.
I don't know if I 100% believe that because I did see that those overhead shots were reused and that they were altered to create the night and create snow because in the movie they didn't
correct
they weren't going up and there wasn't snow
it was
before the winter. I think that was they were isolating that particular aspect of it, whereas I'd be willing to bet money that they reused Shelley Duvall for the breaking of the door scene.
I thought it was Shelley Duvall, dude.
I'd be willing to bet money on that.
I did too.
Yeah.
I think that is just whatever you're reading. They're just isolating the aerial shots as far as the reuse shots.
To be fair.
So there's some interesting stuff in this article that I'm checking out. So it says here, those are the only ones, the shots that I read, those are the only ones which are not full physical recreations. As for the rest of the film, the crew worked incredibly hard to try to get every detail right. but it turns out this is impossible, as Kubrick's genius did not allow for an exact copy. The director, Mike Flanagan, said, Warner Brothers had all of Kubrick's blueprints and design elements, and they gave them to us. The interesting thing was he didn't always follow his own plan, so when we were down the road building this, we were like, this isn't what it was like in the movie. Flanagan explained how the crew went from forensic film school and trying to recreate shots, but even aspects of the furniture were proving difficult to recreate. We didn't get them all right. We tried, but it's really hard to do. It's very sad. He says, we're up against things like the light fixtures he put in the bathroom in room 237 are not manufactured anymore, or we'd find them to be too small. We had a few things where we couldn't find out the exact dimensions of the chandeliers in one room, so we had to do our best guess from the film. However, according to Flanagan, even some of the items used by Kubrick seemed to change throughout the film, and with different versions of the films available now, sometimes carpets, wallpapers, and other elements look different in different versions. Flanagan said, we also bumped into a couple of those Kubrickian hiccups. We talked about the typewriter in the Colorado Lounge, and the question was, what color is it? Kubrick had multiple answers for that. The typewriter changes colors throughout The Shining. So, interesting things like that where it's almost, like he said, almost impossible to recreate. So it's there was something, I read something else about the, so I think they also used the blood coming out of the elevator. I think that was also reused.
It looked like, now was that a miniature?
I think so.
Okay.
So yeah, they used Kubrick's blueprints to recreate the hotel in incredible detail. Which is interesting. So it also says that thanks to the Kubrick estate, Flanagan says we're able to use some footage from The Shining. So I missed this part. The first shot was the well-known moment when blood escapes from an opening elevator. However, the Kubrick version of the shot was only used for a teaser trailer. But in the movie itself, there are 3 shots which are taken from the original movie. So they did get that, the blood coming through the elevator, and they did doctor it because you could tell that it looked like an older version of the Overlook. So,
all right. One of the first scenes I marked out for was when older Danny was in the office of the counselor.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which was a little reminiscent of the interview scene.
Absolutely, yeah, and in the way it was designed, and also some of the framing of the shot, I believe, is almost exact.
Oh yeah, they went out of their way to try to mirror that.
It would have been cool if we had like a Playgirl magazine somewhere in the film.
It was.
Is it really?
It was in the movie.
In Dr. Sleep?
Yes.
Really?
That exact Playgirl magazine was in the movie.
Really?
At some point, Ian, I forget where, but he flips through that magazine.
See, I'm fascinated because I was kind of looking for it in a weird fucking way.
I didn't know. I had to read it somewhere. It wasn't like, oh yeah, that's the magazine. I read that somewhere. It is in the movie.
Quick, Johnny, research.
Why don't you fucking research it? You got a phone right there.
I'm not the producer, as has been said many times. Okay?
It's not the producer's to research.
Yeah.
I don't know what the producer's job
I produce.
is.
That's a parent.
I don't know what a lot.
Do some fucking research. Pick up
Shit.
your phone.
I'm going to call him.
Type in Playgirl. And watch your phone blow up.
Yeah, I need that. I'm going to have Master Zero do it. He's fucking doing nothing.
So there's literally so much we could talk about this, and we haven't even really begun to talk about what we thought about the movie.
I know.
But we had this cool sort of like rogues gallery, and they all sort of had like interesting names. Like Snakebite Andy was the 15-year-old girl.
Crow.
Yep. I'm trying to, let me look. Let's see. We had
Or Uncle Grandpa.
Uncle Grandpa.
Uncle Grandpa. Yeah.
Oh shit. I'm looking. That's why I can't find it, because I had the TV miniseries Shining up. I'm like, who the fuck? I don't recognize any of these people.
No, I love that gypsy soul stealing.
Yeah. So
villain team
led by Rose the Hat, and then we had Crow Daddy, which is kind of like Chow Daddy.
Oh shit! Rolling ready, soul stealing.
Snakebite Andy, Apron Annie, Barry the Chunk, Grandpa Flick, Silent Sari, Diesel Doug, Short Eddie. So so they all had kind of like interesting kind of rogue like names.
Yeah, Snakebite Andy was kind of a dick.
Why?
Well, I mean, we'll get to
for
that.
what she was doing, like that was kind of like.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I
was
like a vigilante kind of thing.
I'm sorry. I wasn't Snakebite Andy. She was actually quite awesome. I liked her gimmick. It was the one that looked kind of the Larry Fessenden motherfucker. What?
Larry.
He had a slight better, like the one that was in the van who rolled up.
Oh, yeah, okay, I know what you mean, yeah.
But no, Snakebite Andy reminded
me
of the
15-year-old girl
from Near Dark. The blonde from Near Dark.
Okay, yeah, I haven't seen it in a while, so I don't remember,
But no, I liked her gimmick a lot. Like she was actually a pretty rad character.
Yeah.
Until she went all in on kind of being douchey.
Yeah, it was interesting though because there clearly was we had this faction, I guess, if you will, the something not, I forget their
yeah.
Fuck, I just had it. Oh, the True Knot.
True Knot.
So so they had definitely had some interesting characters involved there, and sort of what they were doing. Like it's interesting because not only do we get references to The Shining, but we find out there's a much bigger story going on here, where this this sort of like traveling, I don't know if you call them gypsies, but they definitely roll in this like caravan of like campers and trucks and stuff like that, and kind of put down. It reminded me a little bit of and I'm sure this came from something else, but like Carnival. Did you guys ever see that show Carnival?
No, I know and folks that hung out at the manor were huge Carnival marks.
But it also,
I would love to revisit. I'd love to see it for the first time.
Yeah, it was real good, but it almost reminded me of like almost like a traveling circus, but without the circus aspect of things. Something Wicked This Way Comes, maybe, where it's something they kind of roll into town, do their thing, and then roll out.
Yeah, well, they hunt.
Yeah,
Shiners, I guess.
Shiners,
like they're, which shows how expanded that community is.
The Shining community.
Shining community. I'm not gonna fucking do nothing. But like now, was that mentioned before? Like it was that widespread, and I like the line about how some folks shine, they just don't know they do.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like you bring your wife flowers when she's having a bad day for no reason, or
yeah. No, this was the first like exploration into this.
Right.
Like you saw Danny and you saw
Scatman.
Yeah, that was it. Like as far as the world existed before that, that was it. It was the two of them and whatever was existing in the hotel.
Yeah, and obviously the hotel was haunted and they were all kind of trapped there, so yeah, but we weren't, but it's cool that it kind of branches out and then we get this bigger story of like, oh shit, we had this, two Shiners, and then now all of a sudden it's not just two people, it's more widespread than that. And we have the True Knot who are basically feeding off of these people because they're like, they found a way to sort of, they're not immortal, but they found a way to prolong their life, I guess is a good way to put it, right?
That's what I want. I don't want to be immortal. I just want to live a long fucking time and eat, right? They were like, you can eat a lot and you can just like live for a long.
Yeah.
Sold. I mean, like, and they got some pretty tricked out campers too. They had the old fashioned
Rose's
campers.
camper was fucking nice.
That was fucking nice, right?
No, it was a fucking camper.
No, Rose's was nice.
I don't. You know what? I'll disagree. It was a fucking camper.
Johnny, it had like silk sheets, and it might be bigger.
I'd totally be down with it.
You know what? You want fucking? I can hang silk sheets in this room. It'd be nice than a fucking camper.
All right, what are you doing on Sunday? Let's have a tent party. That's weird. But I like the fact that it's expanded, and that's what I like about like there's some weird shining mutants out there that can adapt their powers for things. I love some of the shit they did. Like I love the fucking the kid.
The new recruit.
Yeah, the baseball kid.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, well, because they didn't. A lot of it they didn't dive into. They only hinted at a lot of it. Even the part of that crew that I forget the name already.
The Knot.
True Knot. The True Knot.
Even that crew, you don't go into detail with them. They're just part of that crew.
But I think it would give you enough. Like I'm maybe jumping ahead, but like I want to watch the fucking 3-hour cut.
I want to watch their fucking prequel.
Yeah, right.
Because you know what? Because one of my problems with this is I don't fucking know them. I don't care about them. I know Rose, and that's about it. No, Rose and a little bit of Crow.
Yeah,
Beyond that, cool. I don't fucking know them. I don't know what the fuck they do. I don't care about them. I should be a little more invested in them.
Yeah, that was one thing I thought too. So, obviously some characters don't make it all the way through, and it wasn't like such a big deal when some of the characters were gone because it was like you didn't really get much of them. But to be fair, like the True Knot was kind of a big faction, right? Like this is like
yeah. I mean, there was a lot of them. Yeah,
this is like the NWO, not like DX. Like it was a big faction,
right?
So it totally makes sense. They did focus on like Snakebite Andy and Crow Daddy and a couple others, but that was it. And we saw a little bit of what Uncle Grandpa or whatever the fuck his name was, but
Uncle Grandpa, like,
yeah, but we didn't get a lot of them. And, like, honestly, it probably wasn't needed because if you focus a little bit too much, then it might kind of lose direction. Because as it is, I mean, this movie's 2 hours, 32 minutes, while I enjoyed it at times, like, it was like halfway through the movie. I think I paused it to like go to the bathroom or something like that. I'm like, oh my God, we're just halfway through. And like, they hadn't even like really, like started to go after the True Knot at that point, So it was like, well, all right, well, we got a long ways to go still,
Yeah, but I mean, I still feel we really haven't scratched the surface, and maybe we should because it's still fairly.
There's a whole lot in this movie?
Yeah, we're not gonna be able to.
And yeah, and there's a lot we shouldn't dive into.
Yeah.
I think in this day and age, this movie should not have been a movie. This should have been a miniseries. This did itself a disservice by trying to make itself a movie. This should have been a miniseries on Netflix, on Hulu, on wherever. I don't care. This should have been a miniseries, and they could have just dived into so much more.
I won't disagree with that. I am fine with it being a film, but you could have gone a lot deeper and had more impact on a lot of the things that happened if you were able to do that.
I mean, this movie is fine. I say fine. It's lacking with a lot of what could have been. Where, you make it a miniseries, you could focus in on one or two characters for individual episodes. And it would expand this universe so much more. You could have flashbacks. You could dive into characters that you only know their name because you read them on IMDb. I mean, this could be so much more. The movie itself is fine, but they take away so much by making it what it is.
I know what you're saying, Aries. I do, and I think because it's still for me to want a 3-hour cut. I think it's saying something, but then again, you could also read the book, which I mean that's what Stephen King does, right? I think there are some questions I had that I feel should have been addressed. There's a certain scene that when two characters go back, I don't want to spoil the scene, when they uncover something. I want to know what happened if they alerted the authorities, because you don't just get to drive home after that, especially with how
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
especially with how one gentleman looks in Iowa.
But you know what? They didn't. What happened is exactly what happened
in the film. Or?
Yeah, what happened in the film is exactly what happened. They didn't leave. What they left out is them picking up something.
Right.
Like you missed 5 minutes of that.
I never missed more than that.
No, you didn't. Because these characters weren't dwelling on that. They were there for a specific purpose. Once they did that purpose, they were gone.
But there was a certain purpose they were going to do that we didn't see.
You saw it. Like, essentially, you saw it.
I don't think they finished their mission.
It took them 5 more minutes to do what they needed to do.
But their mission wasn't filmed because they wanted to.
It took them 5 minutes.
Johnny.
Honest to God, if you make me say it to the fucking world, they took them 5 minutes to do what you didn't see them do.
All right. Well, don't say it, because I feel it's still new, and I want people to be surprised.
Yeah. 5 minutes.
You're really
off air. He's getting his ass kicked.
Yeah.
You're on air. Patreon.
Yeah, exactly.
MZ's not here to save your ass.
That fucking scares the shit out of me too. Oh, I get him.
So there was this movie could have went really bad because they're trying to serve like two masters in the book and the film, and clearly Flanagan was influenced by the film a lot, which is interesting. Like, I wonder, I would love to hear like how that conversation went, like if Stephen King was involved at all, like how he feels about making a pseudo sequel to Kubrick's The Shining.
Do you think he really gives a fuck? I mean, like, of
Probably
all the
he cashes his check, and that's all he cares about, I think, honestly.
Right. I mean, like, there's definitely been we've seen a better adaptation of King's material in the last at least 10 to maybe 15 years. But there was some bad fucking adaptations, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, you know what? I'm not going to argue that this is that The Shining was bad compared to the book. That the movie was bad compared to the book. I enjoyed both of them. To be perfectly honest with you, I enjoyed the movie more than I did the book.
And that's going to stick in your craw a little bit too, as a creator.
Well, that's Stephen King's opinion, that the movie wasn't what he wanted compared to the book.
Right.
But how many authors are out there that are like that are pissed off that their creation, when put to film, wasn't what they wanted?
Alan Moore hates it.
Yeah. I mean, that's just how it is.
Right.
But creating this, they definitely catered more towards the movie than they did towards the book and they did towards the miniseries. They tried to cater to all three, but they definitely went towards the movie more.
Yeah, well, it's a fucking movie too. Yeah,
it was the movie, but it is what is more recognizable as The Shining. When you say The Shining, probably 80% of the population thinks of the movie.
But Here's Johnny is what you first think of.
Yeah. Yeah, the movie.
Not the talk show. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I
just confused a little bit. Yeah.
Well, you know what? When I say the movie and you go, "Here's Johnny," I don't the fuck, you're like,
why did it go like woo woo woo? I mean, like, it's a famous scene. Like, it wasn't like.
But you know what? For some reason, the way you said it, I thought of the fucking Short Circuit. I don't know
Number
why.
5
That's
is alive.
yeah, Johnny 5. That's where my fucking mind went.
Oh, Los Lobos kick your balls into outer space. I'll take
But you know what? But that's the population when they think The Shining, they think the movie rather than the book or rather than the miniseries. So that's what they have to cater to.
And also, too, not only to serving the masters, but they're also serving the masters of film and writing, too, in Kubrick and King. And you made Ouija.
You know what? They don't have to.
But he had to.
No, they don't have to please them. Once they have the rights to make the movie, they don't have to please them anymore.
I'm not saying please them because one's dead, but please the work. Be fair to the original medium.
Well, that's please. I mean, to please the Kubrick universe, that's the movie. To please the King universe, that's the book. They're going to cater towards the Kubrick.
Right.
I mean, that's just the nature of the business.
But what I'm saying is that the dude did a good job of doing serving the masters. Fuck. I miss Monsters there.
So a couple things I wanted to call out is, so Alex Esso, we've actually seen her in the film Starry Eyes. You guys, I don't know if you were around for that, Aries, but Raven Shadow, do you remember Starry Eyes? Girl who, yeah, had a pool. The girl who basically like kind of wanted to be famous and like made a deal with the devil, if I remember correctly, and
yeah,
she
like
was
a
like
dark
body
show.
horror kind of thing.
Isn't that Crossroads?
I wish. So, anyways,
I hated Starry.
Yeah, I don't think most people liked it. But anyways, the lead in that was the woman who played Wendy Torrance, the Shelley Duvall role.
Oh.
And I thought she was like amazing. I don't know how much makeup they had to do or what they had to do, but I thought she looked amazing. And it totally threw me. I thought it was Shelley Duvall at times, you know. So that was pretty cool. And then also, Evil Corny called this out in the chat room a little while ago, but he said Henry Thomas played Jack Torrance. I actually meant to look up who played Jack Torrance in this, and I forgot, and it totally is fucking Henry Thomas. How crazy is that? Do you guys know? E.T.,
yeah, fucking
Elliot.
And Suicide Kings, yeah.
And fucking
Elliot?
Yeah, Elliot from E.T. was fucking Jack.
Oh, shit.
See, I was hesitant about saying that scene.
And
why did you fucking say that? Why are you going to be hesitant?
Well, I'm not going to talk about the scene. Like, we're talking about flashbacks and stuff, you know? So.
Yeah, flashback. Okay, fair enough.
He was also in fucking Cloak and Dagger. Remember that movie,
yeah,
right?
He was.
Yeah.
Fucking Jack Flack like a motherfucker. Was
exactly.
that top?
But
yeah, I'd be told like
I had no fucking clue. I didn't know that was him. It's amazing. He it was really fucking cool.
I mean, for a minute, I thought it was.
I never thought it was.
But no, but like whether it be like just I don't know, not like him, but like the hair and the shit, like it.
I thought they were like just fucking wandered around the fucking universe looking for someone that looked like fucking Jack Nicholson, and it was like, you motherfucker, you're in my movie.
Yeah.
Like I had no idea that they picked someone that was fucking in E.T.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
And Suicide Kings.
I'm blown away by the fact that it was an actor already that looked that much like him.
Unrecognizable.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was some makeup done because, you know, like they probably did something, but yeah, I had no idea.
Oh yeah, well I'm sure they did something, but you know what, you can't make fucking Raven Shadow look like him. I mean, there's got to be some similarities.
True.
You know.
Yeah, right. That's the thing. Yeah, like why him? Why is he the guy you go?
I mean, to look and sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So that was a nice little sort of Easter egg, I guess. I don't know if he was fully credited. I don't remember seeing his name in the credits, but then again, maybe I just, because I usually watch, so maybe I just didn't pay attention. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. But so I mean, we're sort of all over the place. We're mostly just talking. I mean, there's a lot to talk about in terms of comparing these films. And I honestly think The Shining is one of my favorite movies of all time, and I think they did a really good job of paying homage to it while furthering the story. And I certainly wouldn't put Mike Flanagan in the same sentence as Stanley Kubrick, and he also said, in the stuff that I read, there's no way this is you can't film it like he did, so, but I think he did an admirable job of making it look like it and framing shots certain ways and having like little callbacks and stuff like that. So I think it was really cool, and I think that moving the story forward, 31, 40 years was an interesting way to go about it. And I think it because maybe we don't need to know what happened to Danny in those 30 years, but what we need to know is this important moment in his life now. Obviously that relates to events that took place in The Shining. And also, go ahead.
But they covered that a little bit with the dialogue, and I think it was enough. I think you got enough to know why we see him for the first time. I like the line of dialogue where they moved to. Like, we didn't want to see snow anymore.
Yeah, no kidding. Yep.
That was very telling to me. That was like, sure, that made complete sense.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Then, the way his powers work, which actually that line of dialogue about what he saw with his powers actually makes me wonder how he viewed the other patients.
Yeah.
And it makes it more terrifying.
I thought that was a cool scene too with scenes. I can't remember the name of the cat, but the cat going into people's rooms.
I just think that was more about the cat than it was really about him.
Yeah, but I just thought it was a cool little thing,
Oh yeah, no. I am 100% behind that, but I just think that was more of the cat going to the people and him following the cat.
Yeah.
More than him going to the people.
But no, it wasn't that, but it was how he witnessed.
Well, he spoke to the people.
Maybe we'll talk off air.
He was like the antithesis of like a Doc Kevorkian, like he was like the opposite.
Yeah, well, he put them at ease with what he could do.
But it's what he saw with his mother.
We'll talk off air.
All right, we'll talk off air. All right.
But then when they do go to the Overlook, I was kind of blown away at how it looked because, like especially there's the scene that takes place in the room with the stairs, right? The stairway with the with the typewriter on the table, like that stuff there was a lot of real cool throwbacks to the film, to The Shining, especially in terms of like, I don't want to say too much, but Danny Torrance was like kind of in a role reversal going up the stairs, like I thought I was waiting for someone for her to say, "I'm going to bash your fucking head in." But
there were certain things that I was waiting for to happen, but I was hoping they weren't, and I was happy they didn't happen.
Yes, yeah, it was enough where it was like, oh shit, this is like that, but it didn't set you up to know what was going to happen. Which if you can play with that and subvert those expectations, I think that's a good move. And in this case, he definitely did that. Where it was like, oh shit, is he going to go there? Oh no, he didn't. That's cool. So. I think that they did a lot of good things here. And one other thing, this is completely like non sequitur, but I gotta admit, like Ewan McGregor's accent totally threw me off. Like it seemed like he was trying too hard almost. Not saying he didn't act well, but it just felt so off to me. Did anyone else get that?
Which is weird because he never had a problem with accents before.
Right.
I don't know. I didn't. Nothing threw me off with him with this.
Because as we know, and maybe it's because in a lot of films that I've seen him in, he does have he has his regular accent or like a different accent. So maybe that's just sort of what threw me off a little bit. But I don't know. It just sounded his sort of American accent just sounded weird. to me. So, but it could just be that I was expecting. I'm used to hearing him talk a certain way, and then we didn't get that.
Yeah.
So let's see. I'm trying to think what else we can talk about here. I do want to start to wrap things up a little bit, though. Oh, and one other thing I thought was cool was, this sort of like motif of with the sound design was the heartbeat was sort of something that was played throughout. I don't know if you guys picked up on that, but it was typically when somebody was tracking someone else, or they were basically like using astral projection, or something like that, where there's like a heartbeat that was like the almost like the score for it, Like there's that scene where Rose the Hat is looking for Abra and kind of flying through the sky, and you can hear the heart. It was almost like getting warmer as the heartbeat gets quicker,
That was kind of cool. A little bit of a Big Lebowski little channeling some of those scenes.
Big Lebowski. I'm sure that's what they were going for.
But I liked how there was the threat of this psychic NWO showing up, against the good guys, if you will. But I liked how there was no real, everyone kind of like, there was no clear winner as they're chasing each other. It was very cat and mouse, but both sides kind of took their bumps.
Yeah, and I think the one thing I thought was cool was I thought the True Knot was going to be sort of like I just figured that, like, how the fuck is anyone going to take them down? Like, that was sort of my thought. But then we got to see how powerful Abra was, and I thought that was a cool way to take it. And even how fucking bold she got at times. There was a couple scenes that were really cool with Abra and Rose,
And then some motherfuckers went all in certain scenes too. Like I love, I don't know the actor's name, but Danny's best friend.
Oh,
it was great.
Yeah.
And he was in Training Day. He was the villain in True Lies. Like he's been a character actor, but I was a huge mark for him. And we learned about his backstory. It's like, oh, these fucking guys didn't blink.
Yeah.
When shit got real, shit got real. And there's definitely some unsettling violence a little bit that goes on for a long time.
Yeah.
I thought some of that was not the unsettling violence, the getting the norms into the world was a little glossed over. Some of it was explained, other times it just I just thought it was a little too glossed over. Like I think they could have dove into it a little bit. I mean, you are pushing the hour and a half mark with this movie.
Yeah.
So you're trying to cut corners wherever you can. But I just thought some of it was a little glossed over, and you probably could have explained it a little bit.
Fair.
Yeah, Corny, I was just about to mention it, but Corny called it out in the chat. It was Cliff Curtis was the actor who played Danny's best friend.
Oh, he's so fucking good. I love that dude.
Billy Freeman was his character's name.
Billy Freeman, yeah.
Holy shit, I just looked at Cliff Curtis's filmography, and I see Avatar 2, 3, 4, and 5.
You got some fucking balls, Cameron.
Oh yeah, he's not doing all those.
2 and 3.
I guarantee he's not doing fucking 5 of those.
2 and 3 are filming, and 4 and 5 are in pre-production. What the fuck? Why does it need 5? I thought 1 was fine.
They won't. I guarantee they won't make all of those.
I guarantee you don't fucking make a third one.
No, because they're filming 2 and 3.
All right.
And when 3 doesn't do nearly what fucking 2 did, they're just gonna fucking pull the plug.
I'm pretty sure fucking 2 ain't do fucking nearly what fucking.
Well, 2 will do half what 1 did.
I don't know. You better get fucking.
There's always that drop off. So.
Yeah.
But no one gives a fuck. Thank you, Cameron. But you gotta fucking slow it down, dog.
Well, I mean, at this point,
stuff.
Avatar's 10 years old.
Yeah,
he's 10 years old at this point.
Should have capitalized while the fucking iron was still hot,
Yeah, he fucking missed the boat.
Yeah.
He should be working on 4 at this point. Like 4 should be out next year.
Yeah, this should be the
fucking boat sailed. He's done.
Yeah, but no, the boat fucking sunk. Titanic. Okay, slow it fucking. All right, like bring fucking DiCaprio back to life and make fucking Titanic 2 Rising or some fucking shit.
Titanic 2.
Actually, you know what? I might fucking see that.
That'd be a fucking movie, right? He comes back. Like, that's the thing. Like, yeah. Like DiCaprio's like frozen like Captain America, and they unthaw him.
Oh, no, I want to fucking come back as a fucking monster, like looking for that gem that she threw away.
That's a fucking movie. He comes back like fucking Quado or some shit.
Rips an old broad in half.
That's a fucking movie.
Wow.
That's a fucking short. I just want that.
Yeah. Can't recall.
Oh man. So
let's wrap this up.
Yeah. I don't know where else to go. So let me just see. I think we'll get all the notes here. So was there anything else you guys, because I'm sure there's a lot more we can talk about. Was there anything else that jumped out at you guys that you wanted to mention before we head to the verdict?
I don't think I had anything major.
All right. Well,
I mean, this talk to you guys about, but I just, I don't know, if you haven't seen it yet, I don't want to fucking say shit, like spoil shit.
Well, I've seen it. We can.
All right, let's do the verdict now then.
Trick or treat, baby.
I wonder if people would say you're a trick or a treat.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
All right, it is verdict time. I'm going to let you know whether Dr. Sleep was a trick or a treat. Any final thoughts we may have, Aries?
Oh, yeah. Because Monster Zero's not here, I get to go first. There we go. I think I said most of what I had to say about this movie. This movie it had its problems. I was excited about this when I first heard this was coming out. And normally I'm not excited about sequels, especially when so much time has passed. But I was excited when I saw the trailers. I was excited when I watched this movie. I was a little excited, and then my excitement dissipated as I watched. Really, yes. This movie, although I did enjoy the movie, it felt like they had an idea for a movie, and then went, you know what we can do? We can tie this into The Shining. That's the feeling I got when I was watching this. Now I realized that Stephen King wrote the book as a sequel to The Shining. Yeah. But as I'm watching the movie, I definitely got the feeling that they had half of an idea and needed an end to this idea and went, there's not a sequel to The Shining. We can tap into that. So that's just a feeling I got as this progressed. Whereas that they started out one way and they traveling down the road and then took a sharp left and tied it into The Shining. Not an entirely bad thing because it worked. My problem is that it's not entirely organic with the tie-in. But that being said, this is definitely an enjoyable movie, especially if you like The Shining. The flashbacks and the tie-ins as the movie progresses are very enjoyable. So definitely watch this movie, but this is not a flawless movie. This definitely has its flaws. Length being part of it because it is a movie. I think they definitely could have explored this universe a lot more with doing a miniseries and exploring this whole universe. Probably even like going well beyond where the movie ended and having a whole universe like this. The world of The Shining is an untapped potential, like to what they could do. And I feel even with this movie, they probably could explore and even do a miniseries beyond this. So call me. I'm open to ideas. I don't know. Hey, what? 1-800-ARIES. Give me a call. I'm fucking done shoveling snow. I want to fucking make a movie.
There you go. Yeah, me too. Fuck that.
So check this movie out. This movie is definitely enjoyable, but it's not flawless. But this movie is a treat.
All right, Raven Shadow.
So I don't know if
I don't know. I like that.
I don't see it as a sequel to The Shining. I see it as a continuation of Danny Torrance's journey. And I think calling it a sequel to The Shining is a disservice to it because it's not the same animal. I was actually while it was cool seeing the homages, I wasn't as much into the Big Wheel flashbacks as I was until I saw older Danny. That's when I kind of got really invested. Granted, the first time we see him, he's doing a line of coke and there's a naked girl next to him. So I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, really? The whole initial Big Wheel tricycle ride into a hotel, you didn't get chills?
I mean, yeah, it was cool, but like, it was like hearing the cover band, or maybe that's the wrong fucking way to say it, but I don't know. I wasn't as much. Okay, you're doing a good impression of The Shining. You're doing a good, new filming of it. But I really got engaged when we saw older Danny. I liked his friends. I liked him and his job with the hospice people and the fucking cat.
You just want to see a buddy cop movie with Dr. Sleep and the cat.
I want that too. Yeah, man. Fucking make that fucking movie. That cat fucking give that cat a fucking show. And I'm sure the fucking book he has like chapters dedicated to him. So, and then as it progressed, I didn't know how they were gonna go tie it into to take it back to it. So I didn't know how far they were gonna go. But I gotta say I was really along for the ride, and it makes me want to check out the source material, which I think is a pretty good compliment. I got plenty of shit to read, but I want to check out this book to answer the questions, and I'm sure it will give more details of things I like. So I really enjoyed this. It's my favorite film of the year so far. So in our current not yet 13, it's definitely my number one in my top 5, I guess, right? How many weeks is in July or January?
So it's the fourth film we've watched this so far this year.
In my top 4, it's my number one.
So out of the 4 we've watched, it's in your top 5.
Yeah.
Dr. Sleep is number 4 through 5.
What's the best? What number 7? Is that a good number? So yeah. I do definitely want a. I almost said Nat the Hat from Hitman. He was awesome, but
yeah, Nat the Hat.
I want a Nat the Hat and the Rose the Hat crossover. The Mad Hat is. I do miss Monster Zero. No, man, I fucking enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I want to fucking read the book.
And for you to say that must mean something,
right? How many books I read that don't involve like Howard Stern or fucking Artie Lang? I'll wait.
I'll be impressed when you actually read the book.
Yeah, or like Joey Tron. Yeah, well, I mean, does the audiobook count?
Sure. We'll count it in this case.
All
right. So, you said your verdict, right?
Yeah, he said treat.
Okay.
Yeah, treat. Yeah.
So yeah, for me also treat. Like I said, The Shining is one of my favorite movies. Kubrick's one of my favorite directors. So I went into this though because I honestly didn't know how many sort of throwbacks we get to The Shining. Obviously, the imagery that you see on the poster and some of the stuff you see in the trailer, you kind of get the idea that, okay, maybe they're gonna. But there was more than I had anticipated, and it didn't bug me. And I actually liked the ties to it. And the one thing I really liked, actually, what I didn't mention was sort of, you know how everyone had their own sort of like headspace? Like Abra had like the filing cabinet system, and Danny had the fucking maze. Like the hedge maze. I thought that was cool. Like that was like, I thought that was like a nice nod to the. What's that?
I was like, speaking of file cabinets, holy shit. the fucking.
Oh yeah, the hand.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
You know what? I did want to mention that whole hedge maze thing. I thought that was a nice little try to correct the problem of it not being in the first shot of the original movie.
Yeah, true. Yep.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because that wasn't on the premise at all. So
You're right.
Yeah. So there was a lot that I liked, and I think this is a very tough movie, as we talked about, that it needs to serve a lot of masters, and I think it did that pretty admirably. And for someone who hasn't been an enormous fan of Mike Flanagan, I know he gets a lot of love in the horror communities. Like, I think he's fine. Don't get me wrong, but I don't hail him as one of the great horror directors working today, like some people do. But I think that this was a very good effort on his part, and this was a tough one to pull off, and he pulled it off. And apparently there is a 3-hour director's cut that just came out digitally. I wasn't going to do that to you guys, so
thank you,
because we just did a 3-hour cut, the director's cut of Midsummer not too long ago, so I wasn't going to do that. But I mean, it's cool. I just think it's too much, like. This already was really kind of like pushing the limits of time with 2.5 hours. And like I said, there wasn't a ton you could cut out. Like nothing stood out as like, oh, this is like just excess. But but there was halfway through, like I said, I was like, whoa, we still got like an hour and 10 minutes to go, hour and 20 minutes to go, or whatever it was. So it did, the runtime was perhaps a little bit of an issue. I think you could have made a tighter film, closer to 2 hours potentially. I'm not going to say what you can cut out because I don't really know, but I think that overall this has to be viewed as a success, and it's a very well made movie. It's got a lot of nice nods to The Shining, Kubrick's Shining, and I think that it satisfies Stephen King fans as well. So I think really it kind of just works on multiple levels. So definitely a good job by Mike Flanagan. And I got to say, I really I love Ewan McGregor. Like, I just like seeing him in films. And I couldn't help but like see parallels between The Shining and The Force.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So, I was almost thinking of this at times. I was like, what if this was Obi-Wan? I'm
saying.
So I think you could probably find a way that wonder if they could exist in the same world or something. But yeah.
Especially at the beginning.
Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah, Obi-Wan doing fucking lines.
Once again, when you're hanging out watching Cracker Farm Boy bathing, you got to fucking do some lines and bang some fucking...
Smoking death sticks.
Death sticks and banging Tuscan Raider chicks.
Wow.
Nope.
All right.
Where's
well,
Rocky Kong?
That's it. So let's wrap things up there. That is our discussion of Dr. Sleep. It is available on VOD now. You can watch the theatrical cut, which is 2.5 hours, or you can watch the director's cut, which is 3 hours. So give it a look, and if you guys check it out and want to leave your thoughts, feel free to send us a message in the future, podcast@trickortreatradio.com. Next week, this begins the run of highly anticipated films, for me at least. I don't know if you guys are anticipating them as much, but next week we are going to be doing Richard Stanley's return to filmmaking. It's been 20 years since he made a film. We did Hardware way back in the day. This might have been before you even reviewed films, Raven Shadow.
No, I think
Okay, maybe you did.
Because the first film I think I discussed was the Voodoo one. The MZ wasn't on.
Sugar Hill, number 11.
Sugar Hill.
That was episode 11, and then Hardware was episode 12, so you could be right.
Yeah.
So we did Hardware way back on episode 12, before we were really kind of, found our footing and our format. But yeah, Richard Stanley. It's been 20 years since he tried to make The Island of Dr. Moreau, which got taken from him. That's an interesting story. If you guys haven't seen, I can't remember the name of the documentary. Let me look it up real quick.
Oh God, yeah, I just watched that recently too.
Yeah,
it's a very good documentary to watch.
Yeah.
If anyone hasn't watched it, watch it. As soon as Johnny comes up and gets the name.
Lost Soul: The Doomed Journey of Richard Stanley's Island of Dr. Moreau.
Yes.
And last I knew, it was on Netflix, but I don't know if it is anymore. That I watched it a couple years ago, probably. So,
yeah, I watched it on Prime a little while ago.
Oh, okay. So there you go. So it might be on Prime. But yeah, Lost Soul was real good. And it's kind of a shame what happened to Richard Stanley. Had the movie taken from him, and basically kind of like got fed up with making films. And he did do Theater of the Bizarre. Raven Shadow, he did one of the shorts in that, the one with the frog lady or something like that. I remember something about frogs.
I don't think I overall liked Theater of Bizarre.
No, I don't think we did. But anyways, what's that?
I think I know where you're going. I'm excited. I think you know where you're going with this one.
Yeah. So anyways, the film we're going to be doing, though, he just released, and it is coming out on VOD tomorrow on the 24th of January, is Color Out of Space. And this is a horror sci-fi film based on the works of H.P. Lovecraft. And it stars Nicolas Cage, and Tommy Chong is also in it.
Nicolas Winding Cage.
So, yeah, I've been looking forward to this one a lot. So can't wait to see Color Out of Space, the latest film from Richard Stanley starring Nicolas Cage. So give it a look. It'll be on, I know it's playing in select theaters, but it's also available on VOD starting tomorrow, Friday, January 24th. So give that one a look. And if you guys want to go ahead and give us your thoughts, you can always send a voice message or an email, podcast@trickortreatradio.com. So looking forward to that. Now we have a few voicemail to get to. So let me pull these up here. First, why don't we hear from our buddy, Pabst.
Nice.
What's going on, guys? It's Paps. Just checking in. I hope you guys are doing well. I wish Monster Zero a speedy recovery. I hope he's doing okay. And I'm looking forward to him being back into the swing of things. So you guys are watching Dr. Sleep this week, and I just recently watched it the other day. Now, I personally have read very little Stephen King. Over the past few years, I've been kind of trying to rectify that and change that, but he was not someone that I like. No, nothing against him. It's not that I don't enjoy Stephen King. He's just one of those authors that I haven't really read much by him. I absolutely love the Stanley Kubrick adaptation of The Shining. I know King has his own issues with it and thinks that Kubrick missed a lot of the beats and kind of themes of that book, but I regardless of that, I think looking at it just as a film, I think it's amazing. I think it's absolutely incredible. And I was a little nervous going into Dr. Sleep, someone making what's essentially kind of a sequel to that. I was a little nervous of how it was going to turn out, but I thought it was fucking amazing. I guess the director, whose name I cannot remember right now, I guess he wanted to kind of balance between being true and fair to the book, the source, but also, including references and, also kind of acknowledging the Kubrick movie, because that's what a lot of people are familiar with when you say The Shining. They might not necessarily know what the differences are, that Kubrick changed, quite a bit of the story. But yeah, I thought it was really, really well done, extremely well acted. Ewan McGregor is just like a force to be reckoned with. I cannot wait for the Obi-Wan series that he's going to be in. But yeah, I thought it was super well done. I liked the antagonist. I thought Rose the Hat and the other kind of members of so the True Knot, those like demon vampire, whatever they may be. Yeah, I thought they were really cool. Seeing one of them die and kind of what happens to them was I thought it was really cool. I loved the movie. I thought it was well done. It was really long, but I think it justified its length. I didn't really see a lot of like filler in there. Kind of initially going into it, I expected Danny Torrance to not be in such rough shape, but then kind of thinking about what his childhood was like is like, oh yeah, of course he's got a lot of problems. Yep. But I thought it was great. Really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to hearing you guys' thoughts on it. I hope you guys have a good night and peace.
All right, Paps. Thanks, buddy. Always a pleasure to hear from you. We may hear from Paps again later on. He sent us another voice message. So glad you dug the flick. And yeah, I kind of agree with Paps that, I think that the length was just, I just don't love 2.5 hour movies unless it's like, I don't know, like I could watch a 2.5 hour Star Wars movie, no problem, because there's a lot of shit going on and like, multiple stories. I don't know, like that's something like a big sort of like action movie or sci-fi. I can totally get behind that. Like, I mean, even Avengers Endgame being over 3 hours, like, that's still too long, but I see it. I get it, And
right. For
this, though, for a horror film, you really have to try to justify that length. And, he said that it did, which I mostly agree with. I think there may have been some opportunities there, but, I can't really call them out. But yeah, I agree with Pabst and like his take on it. All right, let's cut to the next message. Actually, before we do, I wanted to catch up on the chat room. There were some good points. And Evil Corny says, don't get me started on James Cameron. He needs to put True Lies on Blu-ray. And First Time Mike says, I agree with Corny about True Lies on Blu-ray totally. And Corny says, and the damn Abyss. And Corny says, Dr. Sleep and Kavorka Cat. That sounds like a fucking team up right there.
That's a fucking movie.
And Corny says the 3-hour cut comes out with the Blu-ray. So I guess that's how you get the 3-hour cut. First Time Mike says, well, you sold me on the movie. So it looks like First Time Mike's going to check it out. And then First Time Mike also says, ooh, Lovecraft in the house. Yep, we'll have some Lovecraft in the house next week. So let's move on and hear from the man, Evil Corny.
Hey guys, this is Evil Corny. I really enjoyed Dr. Sleep. I hadn't got a chance to rewatch it since I saw it in the theaters, but overall I give that film a treat. The True Knot. Overall, that might have been, when they were taking steam from the kids, that might have been one of the most gruesome feeling things that I think I've ever seen. That was a rough group of adversaries. They got taken down pretty easy and everything, but overall, I enjoyed watching them, wreak havoc. But overall, I like the overall film. Ewan McGregor did a good job on it. That's all I got to say. Well, you all have a good one. I hope MZ feels better. I thought that he was in worse shape than choking on a chicken because he had the oxygen deal, in his nose and everything on the picture on Facebook. But overall, I just hope he's better. Y'all have a good one. Evil Corny out. Nice to see you back, Aries. Hope you didn't have too much fun in Disney. Evil Corny out.
He didn't want you to have too much fun.
Fuck your fun, Aries.
You know what? Fuck you, Corny. I had a fucking great time. You need to drive your ass to Disney and go visit the Star Wars land.
Wow.
It's actually, wouldn't be as far of a drive for Corny.
Oh, yeah. No, he's right there. He could probably do it in a day.
Shit.
All right, we got another voice message from Arkham Josh.
Hey, Trick or Treat Radio guys, it's Arkham Josh here, just calling in with my thoughts on this week's films. I did not get a chance to rewatch Dr. Sleep, but I had previously seen it theatrically. So I just keep it short and concise in that I really liked it. I thought the writing was good, the directing was good, had some great effects. The actors were great. A lot of the cast is fantastic. So overall, I'm just going to say treat and recommend. Because I don't remember some of the minors about it, but overall, I remember really liking it. So there you go, treat and recommend. Other than that, I know you're not covering it this week, but went to see Color Out of Space last night, the new Richard Stanley film, and it's fantastic.
Cool.
So I'm really looking forward to when you guys cover that. I'll chime in a little bit more then. Other than that, though, there's something that I had to address from last week's show.
Uh-oh.
This is something that's come up a couple of times, but then turned into a discussion last week, and that is the use of the term gaslighting. This is not a new term. It has kind of had a resurgence, so to speak, in the past couple of years, but this is in no way anything new from the last 10 years, from the last 20 years. I mean, the term gaslighting mainly took a foothold following the movie Gaslight in 1944, which is a movie about a man trying to convince his new wife that she is insane so that he can claim her to be, need to be like institutionalized or at least under his care so he can get like power of attorney and he can claim her belongings because she has jewels that he wants. The 1944 film was a huge hit, I believe winning multiple Academy Awards. The term technically goes back before that. It was based on a play, which I think is from the 30s. But, so the term gaslighting, in exactly what you guys were discussing, is like a person of power, or a person trying to convince another person of something in order to kind of hold some power over them. Yes, in most cases, the majority of the time is, definitely a man doing it to a woman. This is not a new term. This is a very old term, which should be, known if you pay attention to, just pop culture in general at all. So, all right. I hope that helps. I hope Raven Shadow doesn't have to ask again in another couple of weeks what that means and if it's new or not. But I don't know. You guys have a good one, and can't wait to hear the show. I'll talk to you soon, all right? Bye.
Thank you, Josh.
All right. Thank you, Josh. You're fucking smart and the records. No, I love you. But that's fair, and thank you for mentioning that. I mean, I think Joey Schramm mentioned that in one of the chats as well.
Yep.
And I'll be honest, I'm not up on all the films from 1944.
You're not?
I've not seen all 5 of them that came out that year. How many theaters were there back in the 40s? There was a war going on.
Sir, you weren't alive in the 40s.
I was not, no. But I drink a lot of 40s, so that's kind of the same thing. No, thank you. I did not know that. But I think where my point is coming from is that there are a lot of words that are being used now, like, hashtag was a pound sign. Ghosting is a new term. Is that right, Josh? I remember in the 80s, it was called ignoring you. That's what it was. So there is a trend of making up shit.
You know what the The great thing about language is, Raven Shadow, multiple words can mean the same thing or similar things.
We can get in trouble for that. But like, I mean, I'm with you. Like, I think fishmonger should be a term that we use now for the pimps. You know what I'm saying? Like, bring that term back. Yeah, look that up. Google that search. Fishmonger was what pimps were called back in the day. Think about that. I'm not proud of it. That's a term that was used.
And you know this because
doesn't matter how I know. I read a lot of books, okay? But I read a book. Joey Charm read a book and he told me about it. But,
did he read it to you?
Yeah, he did.
Showed you the pictures.
Yeah, he acted it out a little bit. But no, that's exciting. But thank you, Josh. Now I will check out.
You're not going to check out Gaslight from 1944.
Yeah, right? It's in color?
You could barely remember what it was within 5 minutes of him saying it.
I don't know what it's called, but no, I'll watch Gaslight. Is that on? Is that on Netflix?
Is that on Netflix? I knew you were gonna fuck.
Yeah, is that on Hulu? What streaming service is that?
Oh shit!
Thank you, Josh. I love you so much.
You get that by donating the max amount of money to Trick or Treat Radio on Patreon.
Yeah,
and you'll be able to do that. So just go ahead and do that right now.
I have to do that.
You have to do that.
Well, that's a good segue, Aries, because the term dude means different things, right? It could be a friend, but isn't dude also like originally buffalo scrotum or like donkey balls?
I know nothing about donkey balls, so.
Well, what I do know, Raven Shadow, is Angela Lansbury is in Gaslight.
How fucking old is she? Still with us?
Yeah, she was a young 19 in that.
She was kind of hot back in the day because she was in the Manchurian Candidate, which came out after.
She was born in 1925. That's fucking crazy, right?
Now, is Gaslighting before Angela Lansbury or did it?
What? I said she was in it.
Yeah, but the term though, because the term went back before that movie.
The term go back before she was born? Is the term older than Angela Lansbury?
I don't know.
It wasn't her first words when she was born.
Gaslight. Ah, Mama, gaslight. What the fuck?
Yeah, she's good. She was hot back in the day. Good for her.
Good for her.
Good for Josh. Thank you, Josh. Now I know.
Knowing is half the battle.
It's true.
Yeah, exactly. So go check out Gaslight from 1944.
I know.
It's Mr. Runtime. It's an hour and 54 minutes.
Good for you, Nate. There's a fucking war going on. You can't be in a movie theater for that long.
You know what I
Why
love?
not? Safety.
It's true.
You know what I love? Ollie is an MZ spot. He's like chilling. I think he makes the show look a little bit more attractive.
True. Put him on the cover art. He likes podcasts.
We got one more voice message, and this is from Pabst once again. He said that he sent an email, and he said that he wasn't going to send this because it was from a few weeks ago. He said, I was hesitant to send this voicemail a few weeks ago, but figured, fuck it. If you want to play it, it's my top 5, and Dear God No of 2019. And you know what? I want to fucking play it. I want to hear Pabst's top 5 and his Dear God No, so let's check out.
What's going on, guys? This is Pabst. This is the mother of all catch-ups. I'm so fucking behind on everything. So, real quick, I wanted to give you guys my top 5 favorite movies and my Dear God No of 2019, because I wanted to send that in, but I fucking forgot and have been super busy. But here we go. All right, no particular order. These are just 5 of my favorites. I would say first one, Tigers Are Not Afraid. Fucking loved that movie. Was completely blown away by it. I thought it was so well done. Just like absolutely amazing. Would love to see more from the director whose name is escaping me right now. Number 2, Midsommar. I'm a huge fucking Ari Aster fan. I thought, I love how Hereditary is a little bit more of a horror movie, but All the care and detail that went into Midsummer is just fucking beautiful. I don't have enough good things to say about that movie. I got to catch the director's cut at the fuck, I don't remember what it's called, but that bank that you guys did the live podcast and screening of Survival of the Film Freaks, and it was great. Number 3, The Man Who Killed Hitler, and then The Bigfoot. Beautiful, beautiful fucking movie. Had no idea that was coming when I watched it. I mean, with a name like that, my expectations weren't particularly high, but it fucking floored me. I could not believe how good that movie was, and I have been hounding all of my friends to watch it. I'm just gonna have to sit some of them down and just fucking show it to them. Number 4, Lords of Chaos. When I was first kind of getting into metal, especially black metal, what really pulled me in was the story of Mayhem, and it was pretty cool to see that, on screen. I thought that director did a really good job of it. I know some fucking true cult black metal elitists hated it because honestly it showed those dudes for what they really were, but whatever. And then finally, number 5, I gotta say Rise of Skywalker. It was kind of like the end of an era. My father raised me on Star Wars since I was a little kid, and I absolutely love it. And is it my absolute favorite Star Wars movie? No, but I've really fucking enjoyed it, and I thought they did a really good job. All right, a few little honorable mentions. Shazam, I really loved that. Definitely has me kind of really excited for what DC's putting out again. Headhunter, loved that movie. I would love to see it even deeper exploring that world that it built. I thought it was great. The Night is Short, Walk On Girl. There's this really great anime movie that my fiance showed me, and it was done by one of her favorite animators, and it was really good. And also Missing Link, great to see that they got nominated for an Oscar. I'm a big fan of Leica Studio, everything they've put out. Excellent. And also Endgame, fucking Marvel, bruh. All right, so My Dear God, No. And these aren't necessarily movies that came out in 2019. Some of them I think came out a little earlier, but I watched them in 2019. All right, number 1, The Predator was fucking insanely bad. I could not believe how bad that movie was. I mean, not that my expectations are particularly high when I'm watching a Predator movie, but Jesus fucking Christ. Number 2, Let the Corpses Tan. That movie's just the definition of stylized bullshit. It looked so nice. I wanted to love it. There were parts that I did like, but it just Jesus fucking Christ. A lot more piss fetish, water sports stuff in that movie than I expected. And number 3, Dark Phoenix. Oh my fucking god. I thought with the first 2 Marvel movies, in the rebooting, whatever, First Class and Days of Future Past, fucking amazing. Loved them. Apocalypse I didn't absolutely hate, but Jesus Christ, Dark Phoenix was a fucking slog to get through. That was really, really painful. Number 4, the Pet Sematary remake. I fucking hated it. I'm pissed that they gave away the twist that it was the daughter that they, killed. Oh, spoiler alert. Don't see the movie though. But yeah, the fact that they gave that away in the trailer, and just ugh, I groaned my way throughout that entire movie. And then finally, number 5, Venom. I know that people in that movie are good actors. Tom Hardy's a good actor. What the fuck happened in that? All right, guys. I hope you have a great one. I'm looking forward to listening. I'm glad you guys did One Cut of the Dead. I'm not quite done with it. I did see The Lighthouse and fucking loved it. All right. But I didn't see that till this year, so it doesn't quite count. But peace out, guys.
Pap's covered a lot of ground. We appreciate that, man. I like hearing Pap's list, and a lot of good stuff on there. Some surprises on his Dear God, No. But, I guess maybe it's not that surprising.
I don't know. I was a little shocked by Venom.
I'm with him on that.
I still haven't seen it.
I mean, it wasn't a great movie, but it wasn't an awful movie.
I'm about halfway through.
You know you're supposed to watch these in one sitting, right?
Nah, man.
The fucking movies.
Nah, the TV shows. I do them in half-hour increments.
He loves TV so much that he just tries to turn everything into a TV show.
Yeah. Every Tuesday I watch Venom for 25 minutes.
This Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the new episode of Venom.
This is a good show.
Starring Tom Hardy.
Hey guys, who wants to eat brains? Yay! Like the fawns, everyone's clapping.
Oh, I kind of want that now.
Right? It's kind of good. I love Paps so much. Paps, text me, dude. Just say what's up.
Text me. Just say what's up.
Text.
You're begging for text now?
No, I'm not begging for it, but it'd be nice. It'd be nice. Be a gentleman. Just give me a message, bro.
Be a gentleman.
Yeah, it's fine. I like that. Let's just have a conversation.
When's the last time you texted him?
Well, I get anxiety. I don't be the first one to text. I feel like I'm invading their space.
You get anxiety about sending the first text, but not about begging for a text.
I'm not begging
Aries.
for a text.
You are, though.
Aries, to be
Yep.
fair, he doesn't know how to text people, so.
Thank you.
He only knows how to respond.
Yeah,
He knows how to
exactly.
reply. Because
That's
there's
why-
a button that says reply.
No, that's the thing. I'm into fucking group text, but I just don't know how to. how
Oh,
to
you're
make
into group text?
Yeah, baby. See what I did there? To call a double entendre or some shit.
Entendre Don.
Yeah. Is that a fucking dinosaur? I don't know. What's up, Paps? Good for you.
I miss MZ.
I know. Where is he? Oh, shit. All right, so that is it. That's it for voice messages. Thanks, Paps. Liked hearing your list, buddy. And text Raven Shadow, please.
Yeah, I am's fine.
Just sound your balls. He'll be happy.
No, be rude about it. Be crass.
Oh, shit.
I know, he was hitting all the cylinders. The fucking man with the Bigfoot. The fucking...
The man with the Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Does he have a Bigfoot as a pet? Is that... This Wednesday night at 8 p.m., the man with the Bigfoot. Yay!
It'd be a great lineup. That'd be nice. He walks his Bigfoot.
I'm just picturing a redneck with a monster truck.
That's pretty funny too. Yeah.
Or maybe we could be our TGIF block.
That's what I'm thinking. Right. Yeah. You know, a boy with a shotgun.
Oh man! All right, let's wrap this shit up. So I was surprised. I thought without MZ, I thought we'd be done in like 2 hours, but we almost went the full 3 here. So I think it's because there's a lot to talk about with that movie. We didn't even scratch the surface either. So
if MZ was here, we'd be still fucking.
We'd
going.
still be talking about it. Yeah.
Well, that I fucking rambled on about Disney for a long time.
People like.
I mean,
that.
how often do I fucking ramble?
I was excited about that.
How often do you go to
Well,
Disney though? So you
Once
should
every
ramble.
7 years.
Yeah. See.
It's been 7 years. That was my last vacation.
Like I'm ready to ramble.
Ready to ramble. Let's get ready to ramble.
For the thousands in attendance.
Yeah. For
Close the chat room.
Yeah.
Let's get ready to ramble.
3 or 4 in the chat room.
To our 10, 20 listeners.
Evil Corny says Raven Shadow has a make a cereal kit in the lair. Make a cereal kit? Make a serial killer kit, maybe?
I think cereal, like the old cereals.
Oh yeah, I see. And then he said Venom had a season finale. Is that on a very special episode of Venom?
Yes.
Eddie Brock learns he has a symbiote.
Yeah, the symbiote's in the fucking bike fucking repair shop. That'd be terrible.
The bike repair shop.
Well, the fucking the guy.
Yeah, he owns the bike store. Yes.
Yeah.
He put the symbiote inside
More
of him.
people listening understood that reference.
One's fucking choking on chicken right now.
He put the symbiote inside him.
Yeah.
And on that note, we should say goodbye. So we didn't settle on a film for our next film commentary, but if you guys hear this and have thoughts before we record it, let us know. If not, we'll put it on the list for the future. So we'll figure it out. But yeah, let's go around the room and say our goodbyes, starting with Aries.
Reverse douchebags.
Raven Shadow.
Live fast, love hard, die with your mask on.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to episode 391 of Trick or Treat Radio. Hopefully, MZ will be back with us next week without any chicken in his throat. He better not say a fucking word about the San Diego chicken this week. So, all right, MZ, get better. We'll see you guys next week.